for like
What?
9 years. But we
What does
will
that
be
mean?
wrong. Well, it
What does
means we're
that
wrong.
mean?
It means that we were wrong. We were playing around.
So you don't think the Earth is flat, but you are a flat earther.
Yeah, thanks for saying it out loud. It sounds good.
That doesn't.
I I really appreciated Flat Earth and meeting flat earthers and being part of Flat Earth and being able to try and bring up other, subjects that we connected to Flat Earth that I always talked about, like what I'm talking about now. Bullshit. I hate bullshit. I'm a justice freak.
Yeah, but
But
that's
I
not
thought,
flat Earth. Flat Earth is like, to do with the shape.
um, no, it
They
had
just
way to
turned it
do
into a
with,
community.
to me, it had to do with
That's
battling the Christians and getting into the argument you're talking. But when it came to meeting flat earthers, there was all the faith-based people that were saying all kinds of magical shit. And I was trying to bring in the science to the argument, and they were bringing in the faith. So most of my efforts were against the faith-based flat earth, while I went out with teams of people trying to test the physical earth, while I went in the streets to test what people really thought in the street, and challenged, the media by attaching my face to flat earth. So it'd
You
be
think it's
dumb
a ball?
if I said I wasn't a flat earther, I'd be a pussy.
No, no.
I
I don't
fought
think you
really
have to assign yourself a label
well.
in order to.
This guy did. This guy just came in and wanted to label me. He goes, "Your
Yeah, but
label
it's
doesn't
like a
match.
label that doesn't fit.
Label doesn't
You know what I
match."
mean?
He's like, "Your label doesn't match up." That's what he
Yeah,
just came.
right. That's what I mean. I don't think you have to assign yourself a label that doesn't like represent who you are
Well, when they went to go change it to True Earth
or what you.
ago to try and gain a bigger audience, that was part of the beginning of the back the truck up era. You know,
So you
like
say
when
it didn't prove the Earth is flat. Does it prove what is it? What did you get? Like, what did you end up proving about the shape or
well that they
disproving for that matter?
Nat Geo, and the mainstream media lie, and that's the message. If we're going to get up to current events, current wars, and the control of the oil industry, the control the oil industry has over your life, basically, and your
Yeah, now
freedom.
we're not talking about the Earth anymore.
Right, but as a flat earther, I'm allowed
It's
to say
Africa
all those things.
specifically.
Where as a person in the street, I don't have the interest. People don't come up to me and ask what I think. As a flat earther, they come up and ask what I think. So I have this opening. Um,
Wait, so
the
you just
trigger. I have
use
a built-in
this?
trigger. I get a
So you
trigger.
don't agree with the consensus in the community, but you use the community so you can interact with a larger audience?
No,
That's kinda
the
that's a little bit
community,
misleading, Dan, don't you
community
think?
threw me out. Listen, before you mumble, the community threw me out when I went to the street and found out that we have some answers, that some of the things we've been saying were repeating Eric Dubay for 6 years. When I brought that up, they told me to get the fuck out. That when I said, wow, we should be looking at some of this stuff we're repeating, they told me I was a lunatic and to get the fuck out.
Yeah, who told you that? You know what I mean?
Mark Weiss, Karen B, Bob
Yeah, but
Nodell, Nathan Thompson, Austin Whitsitt. Um,
what's it told you to get the fuck out?
Whitsitt,
He told you to leave the community?
they all have no room for open, honest conversation. For instance, why do we say the same things that we know isn't true? For instance, Mark Sargent says no one ever flips, yet people have flipped. So when I said to his face, why do you say that? You know it's not true. He still did it afterwards when I told him, don't do that. And Mark goes on his show and says, hey, anybody could call in. We invite the troll. That's not true. It's totally not true. Because they call me a troll and they don't let me on. But Mark knows me, knows it no longer takes my phone calls, knows exactly. I printed here my accusations of Mark and his fence sitting and how horrible it was for us and how it's now obviously damaged some people's lives because we had faith in his good nature and his good name. And it took a long time for people to realize that other people didn't have that, and Jaron got all caught up because people were
Yeah, this
fans
is
of him.
this is
People.
so far away from what I was asking, you know?
So you're
Kinda went
asked,
off in a
you were
completely
accusing,
different direct
you weren't asking, you were accusing.
No, I was trying to piece together what you were saying.
Well, I
I
went
was
to the
trying to
street.
avoid
I did street
making an accusation by putting it in the form of a
so
question because
I
I'm
did
not
street
sure.
activism on behalf of Flat Earth and spoke to the people. When the people spoke back, Flat Earth wouldn't listen. Now that's the truth. And that was a problem. And that's something I didn't want to promote.
What didn't they listen to?
When we were corrected on, in particular, this Eric Dubay number 15 or Nathan Thompson proof number 2, it's highly inaccurate. It shouldn't exist. It's not a proof. And it's baller, it's set up as
Yeah, what
baller
is it though? Like, what's the claim I'm saying?
that
I don't know what you're referring to.
a plane flying across level would end up 31 miles high if it didn't make any adjustments. Now that's accurate. But the claim is done by poor math of dividing an hour backwards and calling it now that the plane must have dipped 2,775 feet per minute to maintain level.
I
But
thought the
that
whole plane thing was based on the pitch data,
either way, it's not, flat earthers
right?
aren't looking in to anything they say. They
Yeah, but
just repeating.
isn't it
Hang
based on the pitch data?
on, I'm saying before I go away. Flat earthers repeat stuff they don't look into. And when
Well, I think everybody does that. Like, that's just like saying flat Earth is, it's like kind of insinuating that only flat earthers do that. I think people just do that in general, whether you're a flat earther or a globa or a whatever. I think people just take on a position that they don't 100% understand because to them, they're like, okay, sounds good enough.
yeah, well, that's not scientific. That becomes faith.
Right. I get it. I'm just saying it's not exclusive. And the way you framed it is kind of like, well, it's not only flat earthers doing that.
I could just show you their correspondence with me telling me bad math, each having different bad math, each pushing it to the next person until they finally said, go away. Just go away with your not nasty mathematics.
Yeah, but what I don't understand, I still don't get it. Like, how do you get around the pitch data? If all that shit, if you throw out all that, whatever, that argument, and you just say, all right, well, what if we just focus on the pitch data that we know
Well,
we have? We know
because
this is recorded from an airplane. How do we explain that?
the difference in opinion, this, is each of their data points are individual, where just like the plumb bob, they'll admit the plumb bob, being accurate. They won't admit the line between the two plumb bobs is what we're talking about. And that's the problem when you're talking about level. 2 points can be level with each other. It didn't make the line between them.
You still
Correct.
have a direction of the nose. So we know by default, right? The plane
No,
has to have a slight
stop.
to
Stop. Your assumption's off to begin with. You don't know the pitch and angle of the plane and you don't
Yeah,
know
you
the
do.
drift.
It's
No, you
recorded.
don't. Okay, planes fly slightly nose up, right? They don't fly what you.
Yeah, that's air over wings. Yeah,
Okay,
like, you need that air over wings to create
so
the lift and the
so
everything
the
else, the drag and
position
yada, yada, yada.
doesn't change throughout the flight,
Yeah,
right?
it does, but a large portion of that flight, it doesn't change.
Right. So
So,
the
there's
any
nothing to explain that.
any adjustment necessary is done along the way. Therefore, calculating from the endpoint backwards isn't going to work. So just
Not
so you know,
calculating. I'm not calculating from the
okay,
endpoint back
they
or the front
are.
forward.
We're talking
Dan,
about
Dan,
what's in.
you gotta let me talk, dude. Like,
But
come on.
you're
You're
not
you're
listening
robbing
now.
me because you don't wanna hear what I have to say.
I know exactly what you're saying, but we're not talking about you printing threefold flyers and distributing them errantly. You're not. They are.
I'm not trying to.
Okay, so I'm talking about the problem when people are distributing bad shit, and I
You
have
know,
to defend it.
I'm talking about the pitch data. That's it. That's it. I'm just trying to address the pitch data. Like, you have
Okay,
this argument about the plane flying, I'm like, "Well, how
don't have an
does the pitch?"
argument. It doesn't belong in our arsenal. It's no argument at all. It doesn't belong in our arsenal. It's
You
not
can't make
accurate. It's not healthy. It doesn't make any sense. We're not flying at 1 foot off the ground. Where your
I don't understand
destination,
any of
your
this. I'm
destination
looking at the
needs
data, dude.
to not change the curvature of the Earth. Therefore, it's all stupid.
Right, so
Okay.
you but at the end of the day, you did not address the pitch of the plane in any way, shape, or form.
I know because I use the word trim to account the actual footage necessary, which is 46 feet per minute, not 2,777 feet per minute. So once you start understanding the expectation, you can understand why there's no pilot input. That's the point, because the pilot isn't pushing down to stay on the globe. So our question to the pilot is, are you doing pushing down on the stick, is never going to be accurate because it is only an expectation at 500 miles an hour of 46 feet per minute, which is a trim adjustment. It doesn't require any pitch change.
The trim affects the pitch. The fuck are you
Um,
talking about?
no, because
What are you
we're talking
talking about,
trim.
guy?
The trim affects the angle of the angle of the plane.
Yes,
You
the
understand
angle
that?
of the nose of the plane, the direction the plane's facing,
Then we're
which is
talking.
essentially the pitch.
And we're talking about the same thing. It's not pilot input. Is the
It
thank
doesn't
you.
matter if it's pilot input or
It's because
computer
the
input,
fucking claim is
bro.
when we go to
The
pilots,
second
they don't say that they fucking push down stick. And the claim is that it's got to be 2,700 feet per minute. So get in touch with what I'm fucking saying the flat Earth claim is, and stop defending something different because you can't hear me try and fix shit if you keep channeling elsewhere.
dude, the
Bro,
second
Hart,
I go
chill
to
out.
talk, you just talk over me because you have no
Because
answer for what I'm saying.
I absolutely said that we agree what you're
No, we
calling
don't.
pitch, I'm calling trim. You absolutely didn't address anything I said regarding the expectation of 2,770 feet per minute being. So once you understand your expectation, we can talk about how much pitch or trim it would take to
What does
deal
the
with
trim?
46 feet per minute compared to the flat earth claim of 2,700 feet per minute. The point being, if you're going to make a claim in per minute, you must calculate per minute. Therefore, 500 miles an hour, which is the claim, is 8.33 miles per minute. Therefore, all calculations are at 8.33 miles. 8.33 times 8.3 times 8 inches divided by 12 ends up as 46 feet per minute. And that is the reality of what it would take. So when you're looking to trim out, or you're looking to do the other word that you said, pitch out, whatever you're calling it,
The
it would
trim
be
controls the pitch. I don't know how many. Like what,
so
dude?
does so does the thrust. Yes, we get it.
No.
So
No, the
what,
thrust doesn't control
you're,
that.
listen, you're talking about
You
the
can
method.
counter.
You're
You can
talking about
counter.
the method, and the method's not important. We're talking about how much is really expected. Do you understand what I'm fucking saying? Because I'm going to split, dude. You're not addressing the numbers or the math. You brought up your own shit. So you move the goalpost in front of me. You pulled a flat earther by
I didn't
moving
move
the goalpost,
any
not
goalposts.
talking about anything real, and fucking going, but listen to what the flat earth claim is. The flat earth claim is that a pilot must dive 2,777 feet per minute to stay on the globe. It's not a healthy claim. It's not accurate.
All right, that's fine. Okay, that's
Not
not my
fine
claim.
because
That's
it's
not my
years.
fucking claim.
You
Stop
weren't the
asking
one
me to defend somebody else's shit. I'm saying
was talking
it,
about, and your claim
impossible, bro.
it's
Impossible.
not been published anywhere. Your claim isn't important.
Yeah,
What's
I didn't
important?
make the claim. I said, how do we explain the pitch data?
And I explained it to you.
No, you
You
argued against something I didn't say.
explain it to me
You said
because
somebody's
all of
argument.
the necessary pitch would only have to account for 56 feet. Are you fucking with me?
Bro, can you
Fucking
take a
kids?
breath?
No, because he won't get in the conversation. If you want to get in the conversation, explain to him what I'm saying. Because I'm not challenging him. I'm talking about what's being published, distributed, and why they're pushing people out for questioning simple mathematics. So if you want to move the goalpost to your language regarding pitch and trim, it's all about angle and acceleration. None of it matters until we understand that the expectation is wrong. The 31 miles would be accurate if there was never a pitch change of any kind or any adjustment over the entire journey. But in fact, the
If you
gradual change would never let it get to 31 miles. So
what do you
dividing 31 miles is barbaric and ridiculous.
what do you have to bring in to stop, like, to create that limitation?
What do you mean?
Y- So what are you saying? You're saying gravity is what's keeping the plane, allowing the plane to maintain its pitch?
Listen, you can pretend I said anything you want.
No, I'm
What I'm
asking you,
saying is
dude.
that
Holy
when
shit.
flat earthers were wrong about something, they won't fucking address it, just like you're doing now. You're
When
not
did I
addressing
ever
what
make that claim, Dan? And why do you want me to defend somebody else's position that I never held?
you're
Why?
asking. I had a
I
problem with.
made a
You were
simple
asking where my
observation of the
problems
pitch
arose.
data.
How I got pitched out of flat Earth. That's the pitch. I got
Go
pitched
argue with
out of
somebody
flat
else
Earth
then. I
for
don't give a
being
fuck, Dan.
truthful and honest. For being
Go
truthful and honest. And now you're gonna mumble some other bullshit.
truthful and honest, and you're creating a straw man for me to fucking argue against. Yeah, that's okay.
It
That's
wasn't in an
perfectly okay.
argument with you. You're making it that. Why do I need to argue with you?
I'm the one yelling?
I was telling you a
I'm the
story.
one yelling, Dan?
I was telling you a story. And
Yeah,
you
and
are
I asked the question,
You are the one who's
and
not
you blew up.
addressing any form of mathematics, which is what I'm talking about. And you switch the goalpost to pitch and angle and trim. I said trim.
No,
You
I
said
didn't.
both of them
The
create.
only thing I said, Dan, hold on. The only thing I said, I did not challenge any of your math. I didn't say
You
your
didn't
formulas
address
are wrong. I didn't say
it.
any of that. All
You
I said
didn't
was, how do
address
we explain the pitch
it. You
data
didn't
then?
address it. You moved the goalpost and you're sitting over there.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Yeah, you're still doing it.
So it's a
Because you
question I'm not allowed to ask. Okay, got it. Fine.
I,
Yeah,
I
that's fine.
understand that flat earthers are really going out with that again. Nathan Thompson's really still doing that in print. David Weiss is still telling people that. And the answer is yes. And they know it's not true. So we got a big problem now is there's no integrity in flat. And I'm not happy about that because it cost me, evidently, my reputation in flat earth by having integrity. And now you guys are all doing it to Jaron, who's only claiming integrity. This is what I saw, is what he said. And so it's like you have no use for anyone who has real fucking data.
But here's the thing: we can't verify that that's what Jaren actually saw.
Yeah, and if it was someone else, you couldn't either. So there's no one we trust. You're right. There's no one we trust. That doesn't prevent you from going and doing it yourself, or Weiss doing it, instead of continually claiming there's an ice wall and claiming that there's a dome, because there is neither. I mean, that's the truth. You could sit and poo-poo on it all you want, but are you ever going to get off your asses and go look? Now, I represent flat earthers that did. We went out over 30 times measuring as best we did, and I'll stand behind everything we did. But we didn't just sit around and we didn't just talk. And I got plenty to show. So telling me I'm not a flat earther is cute, but it's not going to get you very far.
Well,
Yeah, you're just changing the definition of what flat Earth is, essentially, is what I'm hearing.
yeah.
You're saying flat Earth is a community. It's not a community based on the shape of the Earth.
No, I'm saying that the community
And
fell
then
out.
I am still a part of that community.
In 2018. That's when the community disappeared. And it was basically scrounged together by Karen B for several years. And now it's over with.
Says
There's
you.
nothing. Well, Karen B is no longer doing show. She's no longer, not says me, says the examples around me. For instance, Weiss went after Jaron instead of being honest. Mark went after Patricia instead of being honest. Everyone went after me instead of being honest. So it isn't says me, it says them. And it says anyone who comes on here and tries to say, I'm not a flat earther. Flat Earth dropped its integrity right out the hole. There's nothing left of anything or anyone that you'd want to talk to.
It just sounds like
And everyone's still backing up the truck. Beep. I didn't say that. Beep, beep. I never said that. Beep, beep. It's not, I never said it was a place. I never said it was a thing. That's what it's a Geo. I never said I was a flat Earth server. You're all going beep, 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 beep. And it just becomes ridiculous. Like, we never said this. We never said that. And it's like, okay.
Well, it seems like usually strawmanning a bunch of people then.
Kind of just quoting things here.
When did Gio say that his server was a flat Earth server? He's never said that ever.
Yet everyone you know considers it a flat Earth server.
No,
Everyone.
It's Earth Awakenings.
Oh, so because that's the name, that the conversation wasn't dominated by flat Earth for the past
100%. It has not been. It's mostly dominated by religion. Actually, I think 90% of the conversation is about religion in that server. Then it's ayahuasca, and then you can say flat Earth.
Well, that's your position because it's obviously
Well, I
not.
mean, I will say server mod there. I used to get annoyed of being there because.
But if it was that religious, you'd never have ever seen me. It's not that religious, and it's spiritual. It's spiritual at best because of Geo's balance. So you suggesting that it's religious is silly because he's not.
No, what I'm saying, most of the conversation was about religion in that server.
Really?
Yes.
There's a lot of recordings. We could go random and just grab 10 seconds here, 10 seconds there, and I promise you, I'll bet you. I know you're right.
Geo blew up like a couple weeks ago at some of the guys because all they did was talk religion and shift every single discussion, argument, debate into religion. And he saw what they were doing. He let it go on for a little bit and it didn't stop. And he had to jump out and say, look, guys, I'm tired of this shit. Everything you do, every time you inject, you drag it into religion. It's a serious problem over there. Many people are frustrated and like tired of being forced into a Bible study that they didn't want to be a part of.
It also shows you how people have their own impressions of things, and that is hard to get past, because we all have our own feelings we attach to our emotions, and we portray our inner feelings a lot. I'm definitely not comfortable inside, and I definitely get angry from how I feel to begin with. It's in terms of frustration or abandonment issues as a child have plagued me up to today, up to what I talk about when I wanted Flat Earth to be family, and they abandoned me for telling the truth. It's no different than my real family. So I'm bummed that I'm actually created a cycle by wanting Flat Earth family.
I understand. I mean, not making fun of you, but I'm saying that I don't understand your reasoning about why your argument and your frustration is. And I understand how back in the days, I want to say the original, but there was people before y'all, but the latest originals were more together than they are right now. They're pretty much, the crew has broken up.
I think when Dan says that he's a flat earther, what he really means is that he's a truth seeker. He's a fellow man who's on this journey that we call life. None of us asked to be born, but we were kind of just thrown into this earth, and we have no idea what this is or why we're here. And life can be very hard, and sometimes you need a community. And Dan feels like he was kicked out of his community just for seeking truth, when the whole point of the community was to seek truth in the first place.
I'm not sure it was. I think we attached to Flat. I think there's no one in Flat Earth that thinks it's true. Like I'm bummed. Jaren's bummed. It seems like it seems like now it's just a form and a sect of Christianity against the David Weiss profiteering sort of shill side of things. Where it's good. Flat Earth is still good sport. I could be accused of that, but I never took monies of any kind. But Flat Earth is good sport because you can engage people with their silly beliefs, and that's still has value to me. Also, I'll probably still go do Flat Earth Hollywood when I get the guts and do Are You Smarter Than a Flat Earth? Because triggered people are funny. They tell you so much about how they feel, and then they say it's the truth. And unfortunately, from the religious standpoint, although so many religions and they can't come to an agreement, and then they all say it's true. So I can't see truth in religion, or I think it would be my religion. I think it would have been proven to me. And
I got a question. If you want truth, I got a question. Do you think the Earth is a sphere? Or a geoid?
Measures and acts as such. I haven't personally.
I asked, what do you think?
It's obviously behaves as such, so it probably is.
All right, so that's what you think.
No, just say the full sentence. Say I think the Earth is a sphere.
I think the Earth measures as a sphere. If physics are true and there is no supernatural and this isn't some sort of rendering I don't understand, it's a sphere. If it's physical, it's a sphere.
Why do you call yourself a flat earther?
Because I have been. I wouldn't pussy out.
You're not anymore.
You're trying to sabotage the flat earthers. You're not tricking anyone.
Dan, that's like a glober coming in and saying, I want to be part of your community, but I don't agree or believe in anything your community represents.
Are you hearing
me?
You're
not fooling anyone, Dan.
I'm not fooling anyone. So when the Raiders left town, whether it be Oakland or LA, and moved their allegiance elsewhere, are you going to say you were never a Raiders fan?
So I didn't ask you if you were ever a flat earther. I asked you, what are you?
Well, I don't
right now, you're not a flat earther because you don't align.
Right? Listen, here's what you don't get.
Dan, every time I go to talk,
trying to answer you, you stupid fuck, listen to me.
You asked me a question, and in the middle of answering it, you jumped in.
Right, I'm trying to.
Really frustrating, man.
So what I'm trying to say is when I started, there was a physical group of 350 people here in LA. It's diminished to zero. This diminishing took many, many years of people peeling away, disenfranchised by the lack of integrity or the profiteering of people around them that didn't seem to parallel the truth movement we thought, and maybe you guys still think, flat Earth is.
Well, I mean, they probably get your insights from the community. It doesn't mean that this is insights from being flat earthers.
Part of you.
Yeah, you're really muddy, man. Really. Like in your jacket pocket, maybe.
Dan, you don't have any secret truth. You didn't figure anything out.
What do you mean? What about
you're obvious, dude.
What about the Nat Geo stuff?
What about it?
Well, they're clearly still lying. They even doubled down. People who performed the experiment doubled down and said that they actually have the stripes disappearing, but Nat Geo had cut that out. I know it's not true because there's other eyewitnesses there, and nobody saw the curvature of the Earth affect that flag, whether it was their height or its distance. And there's documentation of that. So the curvature of the Earth did not appear that, and they lied about it saying it did. So if you don't think we got anything done that day, I think you're wrong.
You just said you're on the globe side, though. What do you mean?
I'll never be on the globe side.
You just said you were, Dan.
No,
you said the Earth measures and acts like a globe.
You want me to be whatever you want me to be.
No, I asked
you. Acts like a globe, dude.
So you hear me fighting for the globe? You guys pried out of me what things measure. I discounted that by me not knowing what was real and whether physics. And now you have me promoting the globe. That's what cunts you're being? Don't do that to me.
Because you said that it measures as a sphere. That's what you're saying.
You just said it didn't.
I have plenty of physical work that I stand by that shows the Earth to be flat. You know that? Right? So my flat Earth arguments are fucking stronger than anyone else's because I have physical.
Why would you say it?
Because I have multiple physical observations documented very well. Up to 35 miles.
Of no curve.
Yeah.
But it acts like a globe. And measures curved. Measures curved.
Measures both. Just like the word level.
It measures both. They can't.
The word measure. Just like the word level seems to mean both, right? Right? We still argue over the word. We all know what it means. So instead
How
of
quickly did your wig fall off in this community?
And quickly, but it was in 2021. It wasn't now. It was in 2020. You just didn't care. You know, Karen B.
I wasn't aware back then.
Yeah, Karen B. started calling me a troll. None of them would talk to me and share anything about FE Core. FE Core was dead, but they wouldn't tell anyone. The people within FE Core who wanted to work were already working. So I absolutely know what's going on. And they're fucking lying to everyone, pretending that FE Core is ever going to do anything. And it became a little gentleman's club when I thought it was supposed to be setting guidelines and curriculums for us. So I'm sorry we put any faith in FE, because that was the faith that we put in after the faith of Davidson. So where does Flat Earth put its faith is the real question. And unfortunately, anyone that wasn't faith-based peeled away piece by piece a long time ago, leaving only the faithful.
That's not true at all.
And I don't get along with the faithful because they do the type of thing you just did to me, where you made me say what you wanted, then you decided what that meant. That's bullshit, dude, because you can't make me anything.
I didn't make you say shit.
Yes, you did. You absolutely said, say it, say it, say it.
No, sorry, that was me, sir.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Thanks. Thanks for saving me. I hate when I fall asleep. Sorry. So anyway, it's when you're
well, look, maybe people don't want to put their faith in people like you who just flip-flop back and forth. You know?
I've never flip-flopped. See, this is more people projecting their fears. Show me where You substantiate your words. I'm tired of people thinking accusations are enough. So
I'll just
you
clip the
show
live
me,
stream from 5 minutes ago. What do you mean?
go ahead. No, go ahead. Show me flip-flopping ever. Because here I
You
am
literally
saying
just did.
I'm a
You
flat
literally
earth,
just did it.
I'm a flat earther on a globe, dude. That's the problem, isn't it? Right? That's what you can't understand. I'm a flat earther on a globe. Who knows it's a globe now? Fuck. I better be careful. I better go back and look at all the shit I said. Guess what?
By default,
I didn't
by
flip flop. I never had to flip flop because all the claims I made, I still make because all the experiments and observations we made are still true. Now, does it make the world flat? No, but it makes liars out of the media and it makes problems for us when analyzing what we're up against. And if we can
do you understand, Dan? Do you understand like the how some people could see this as double speak? You're claiming, right, one thing that you know there's a community established that thinks something.
You're mouthy, lame fuck, you never do anything. And you're
Like
doing
I
your
haven't
job
explained
as
myself.
mouthy,
I
lame
haven't
fuck.
explained where it would
As
be a double speak,
mouthy,
but you want to
lame
respond.
who will never do anything. I don't appreciate your opinion anymore because
You haven't heard it.
nothing, and you
You haven't
will
heard
do
my opinion. You
nothing.
talked
You
over it.
will do nothing.
Yeah, you talked over my opinion, and you don't want to hear it
No, I
because
hear.
of you don't like my opinion that you didn't hear.
Go prove something you're saying. Go do something. See? When I went out to prove the
Why are
flat
you
Earth,
changing the subject?
because when I went out to prove flat Earth,
Dan, why are you changing the subject?
I'm sorry. What
Again,
was?
I said, do you understand how people could see this as double speak when you're saying I'm a flat earther, but the community, you don't align with the community of flat earthers?
There is no community of flat earthers.
You're not the arbiter of that. You're not the authority of that. You do not get to decide that.
The absolute demise of a group that was 350 strong, and then tell you about the secondary group that I created with 120 people that everyone peeled off for the past 6 years now. And you're going, hey, there's a community. And I'm watching everyone go away. Go away.
Yeah, maybe because the person who built it's a fucking glober. Maybe they don't want to listen to you.
There's a community. Well, listen, if Flat Earth had anything, I'm up for it. What do you got? Because the best you got is our work. Our work is the best you got.
Totally.
I mean, isn't this a community? Technically, online community.
It's a new community that swore an hour and a half ago that it wasn't going to be a flat venue.
It's you really project yourself though as part of the community, in a sense that you align, but then you attack that community.
Because I don't just sit at home as an avatar and a screen name. I show my face.
Not addressing
I go
what
out
I
in the
said.
world, and I became a flat earther in the world, not in Discord.
Okay.
A lot of people do that.
That doesn't address what I said, but all right then.
But you don't count because you don't do anything active. You don't have a channel. You don't have a face. You haven't a record of doing this, that, or the other.
So it's a popularity contest for you.
You're not valuable, though. You're just another.
That's not fair.
Opinion.
Dan, well, you think you're valuable to Flat Earth? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
There's a lot of people that do things behind the scenes that don't want to be the face of content creation and that are Flat Earthers. So I wouldn't necessarily say that you have to have a following and do videos in order to be a part of the community.
See, what I talked about was doing things, doing something.
Yeah, I just said it. A lot of people do things behind the scenes for other content creators.
It's not about content creation. See, you keep going back to
I'm not even talking about that, Dan.
But
I'm just talking about the alignment. You do not align with the people you claim to represent.
Physical world, walking around, real world, doing stuff. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but you don't align with the people you claim to represent at all.
I don't claim to represent anyone.
You claim to be
Now
a
the
flat
question is
earther.
then, let me ask you this: how many times are we gonna go measure a place to verify that it is the same as it is? If it was already measured, like what? How many locations already? 15 locations around the world. Why do we all have to go do the same measurement if it's already done?
Yeah, the mistake is not
This is being
concentrating on
redundant.
the 1 mile. If we concentrate on the 1 mile, 8-inch drop, you're 100% right. We could even control conditions and prove that the lasers aren't going to move that much. We're not experiencing that much variation as they think that be. So, but you're 100% right. Going further and further was a giant mistake. It really was. And to
For
give you
you.
an idea how lame we are, really, as flat earthers, we
Dude, stop doing that.
Well, I have evidence to describe it. So if you could stop me afterwards, that would be great.
Oh, you're
Because,
lumping yourself in with flat
because
earthers.
we're trying to talk about people that physically did stuff that you don't understand because I haven't described it yet, dipshit. So when it comes to doing long distance observations, the Globers kept requiring that we measure the middle point so often. And having a gradient across the way, of course, is challenging in terms of buoys or something. So it shocked me when I looked at the power lines at Lake Pontchartrain, knowing that the cement pylons were consistent across the way. And if somebody just put a laser on top of one of the cement pylons, that we'd see the laser's curvature and the curvature of the Earth having variation be there. Because I don't think either curvature would be there. But that simple test where you have a gradient, every couple hundred feet, and you could watch the mark go out there, half being on the tower, half being on the post and half being extending. I
Dan,
can't
can I
believe
ask you something? How do you
nobody ever used that in that way.
Can I ask you something? Let me ask you something real quick. Okay. So how do you challenge people in their paradigm, the globe paradigm, who say level is curved, right? That water is actually curving.
They're using an assumption. They're assuming.
Right. So how do you challenge that assumption?
I could show them our work that demonstrated otherwise.
Right. I mean, we have evidence that Lake Pontchartrain was just built using mean low water. Like they didn't even use a geoid or an ellipsoid or geodetic surveying and nothing like that. They just literally use mean low water. It's a 27-mile long bridge, and it's over level water. But the thing is, when I brought that up to Jesse, Path of Light, he brought up the argument like, well, are you saying water is level? Well, we think it's curved. So like it's just like a moot point. Like people are just going to believe that Earth is locally flat everywhere, but it's still a ball. Like how can you prove anything against it? Like how can you prove the contrary if Earth is locally flat everywhere and you can only take measurements locally? Like how do you challenge that paradigm?
Here's the thing, and it's a great question. When we talk, remember they always say, you stupid flat earthers want your own camera. When we point out that the moon has a great platform to be pointed at Earth, they point out that there's cameras everywhere and that Earth is well covered by all these satellites and cameras. It's not true. There is no zoom in on the top at a boat, zoom in down at the bottom, and look at the boat upside down. There is no rockets taking off. There is no observations of Earth as described. So it's kind of weird when they yell at me, go look at the ISS live. I can just rip it apart. They're not showing us space. They don't point up. They don't show the local sky ever in the infrared spectrum because when they used to during the shuttle era, there's a lot of shit to see. When people do it from the ground now, what they call full spectrum, the sky is insanely busy. Look at Scanner Guy 68, Scanner Guy 1968 on YouTube. He does stuff all the time, and the sky is amazing. They don't show us. Yeah, I don't think there's people on the ISS because they don't look at it. They never see anybody going by. They don't turn and look at they don't turn and look at the moon. They don't point up. They don't point down. They pretend there's no infrared. So there's a lot of problems with communication of what we are and aren't seeing. To summarize space, there's been a military program hidden all the way up until Space Force. That's where everything has just been crazy, because everyone knows that there's a hidden agenda and a hidden part of our world that we all just brush under the rug. Is Flat Earth part of that? Certain things seem to be part of brushing certain parts of space and our history under the rug. Is Flat Earth connected to our history? Is the most exciting thing, and where are we really from? So to me, Flat Earth still rocks, but Flat Earthers have turned out to be pretty lame. The ones that's left just talk about the Bible.
Beast, before you came in, Dan was telling us how he has measurements. The Earth measures curved and acts like a globe. Dan, the Waterman, said that. So we were grilling him.
You're still comfortable trying to pigeonhole me somewhere. It's cute, but it's not very nice.
This guy's a glober.
See? But you can't
Yeah,
make
you are.
No, you made me say something. Now you're summarizing the way you want. So I fit
So now
what
I made you say that.
I fit what you want. Because I know what a glober is, and they're fucking dicks. And they're not norming. They're not norming.
Can you repeat what you said? Just
sorry, I had a connection. What do you call it? So when Burr was saying about Jesse Light saying that
Elbow, you're coming in kind of low, brother.
Light and give me peace of mind.
Oh, you know what? I had you at 60%. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Elbow.
No, he's low.
I'm pretty sure it's every time I get a call, it gets low. Give me a second. Let me restart my YouTube.
What did you say exactly, though, Dan? I don't want to straw man. What did you say?
We should clip it. Because it's, yeah. He said he has measurements of both, of flatness and curve, and that he's like, oh, we're asking him, and he's like, yeah, it acts like a globe and it measures curve.
I didn't claim to have measurements of the. You're a fucking prick.
It's on the live stream.
Into something you need is fucking weak, dude.
You recorded saying it.
No, Ben, it did sound like Dan, it did sound earlier that you said that it did measure.
5 minutes ago? I'll go back.
Figure out how to deal with yourself, so you have to focus on. That's what's going on. So now, hey Dan, how come you're not what I want you? And I go, I don't know. I'm having a hard time. There isn't really for me to be a flat earther, and you're going, well, I'm gonna move the goalpost then. It's like, well, no.
Holy shit! Stop.
Where's the flat earther I could talk to? Right? You got one? Dan. I'll do so.
Dan.
No, do you have a flat earther?
Dan, God damn it, Dan.
For real.
Dan, shut the fuck up.
Are you the guy?
Dan, a few minutes ago, it sounded like you said it measures spherical. And that's when I walked in as well, when I just heard you say that. So
I didn't say I measured anything.
Talking about that. It sounded like I don't know.
I was just accused of saying I had measurements of both.
Am I done speaking?
No, you're not. But we might be able to hear you if you get a real mic. Fucking unplug it and plug it back in. Do something about your fucking mic.
Motherfucker, man. Well, if you shut the fuck up, you could probably listen.
Just unplug it.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Elbow, your mic is real low.
Unplug it and plug it back in. It's crackling. It's not connected right. We can't hear you well. Please do something.
Well, if you shut your fucking mouth and listen, you'll probably fucking hear.
Okay. Listening to accusations isn't cute or fun.
Shut up! I was speaking, bro.
So do you have anything to say that isn't an accusation?
Holy fuck, Dan. You just don't know how to fucking shut the fuck up.
I'm asking, what flat earth stuff do you got?
Well, then shut up. I can actually...
I am so fucking
A few minutes ago, holy crap. A few minutes ago, when I walked in, when I came into the Discord, you were saying that it did measure spherical. That's what they're relating to. You're saying that that's what they said. Then you are a glober.
But that didn't say I did it. I didn't say I measured it. I was just quoted as saying I had measured it both ways. Therefore, my opinion was based on wishy-washiness. That's what was just relayed, is that I had measured it both ways. Had I done so? No. Was I talking about what it would take in terms of satellite observation? Yes. We're talking about what it would take to prove the globe would be, I think, a more distant observation would make more sense. And so I'm in the conversation. Sorry. Your accusations, or you need me to be this, or you need me to be that, are pretty embarrassing. And now what we're going to have is somebody timestamping something to fit their narrative, and it's dangerously lame behavior, because the actual things like math, like truth, like faith, or our actual enemies or our histories, you don't want to talk about that. You want me to fit something for you. And it's fucking insane. So go ahead with your
Well, the
fucking
math
insanity.
always adds up. Math is abstract. It can add up to whatever the fuck you want. It is in reality. So a mathematical construct is definitely unimportant to this conversation, and that's the problem that the Glober has. They have a mathematical construct, and they try to fit it to the Earth, but that's it. It's just a mathematical construct, not reality.
Measures and axes, and then they all say it's true. So I can't see truth in religion, or I think it would be my religion. I think it would have been proven to me. And
I got a quick question. If you want truth, I got a question. Do you think the Earth is a sphere or a geoid?
measures and acts as such. I haven't personally.
I asked, what do you think?
It's obviously behaves as such, so it probably is.
All right, so that's what you
No,
think.
just say the full sentence. Say like, I think the Earth is a sphere.
I think
If
the
you
Earth measures as a sphere. If physics are true, and there is no supernatural, and this isn't some sort of rendering I don't understand, it's a sphere. If it's physical, it's
so
a sphere.
why do you call yourself a flat earther?
Because I have been. I wouldn't
You're
pussy
not.
out.
You're
If I
not
was
anymore.
You're trying
and
to
the
sabotage the flat
if the
earthers.
Raiders move,
Nigga, you're not tricking
right?
anyone.
Do I have to
Dan,
start
that's like a
around
glober coming in and saying, I want to be part of your community, but I don't
Raiders?
agree or believe in
Their elite.
anything your community
You're,
represents.
Are you
you're
hearing me?
not fooling anyone, Dan.
I'm not fooling anyone. So when the Raiders left town, whether it be Oakland or LA, and moved their allegiance elsewhere, are you going to say you were never a Raiders fan?
So I
Is
didn't
that,
ask you if you were
is
ever
that
a flat earther. I
well,
asked you, what are you?
well, I
And
don't
right
have.
now, you're not a flat earther
Okay,
because you
so
don't
when I
align,
started,
right?
listen, here's what you don't get. When
Dan,
I
every time
started
I go to talk,
trying
every
to
time
fucking answer you, you stupid fuck, listen to me.
you
When
ask
I
me a
started,
question and in the
yeah,
middle of answering it, you jumped in.
right. I'm
Like,
trying
it's
to tell
really
you.
frustrating, man.
So what I'm trying to say is, when I started, there was a physical group of 350 people here in LA. It's diminished to zero. This diminishing took many, many years of people peeling away, disenfranchised by the lack of integrity or the profiteering of people around them that didn't seem to parallel the truth movement we thought, and maybe you guys still think, flat Earth is.
Well, I mean, they probably disenfranchised from the community. It doesn't mean that disenfranchised from being flat earthers.
It's hard to hear you.
Yeah, you're really muddy, man. Really.
Yeah,
Needs,
I just had a phone call, so give
needs
me a second to restart my headphones.
like in your jacket pocket, maybe.
Dan, you don't have any secret truth. You didn't figure anything out.
What do you mean?
You're obvious, dude.
What about the Nat Geo stuff?
What about it?
Well, they're clearly still lying. They even doubled down. People who performed the experiment doubled down and said that they actually have of the stripes disappearing, but Nat Geo had cut that out. I know it's not true because there's other eyewitnesses there, and nobody saw the curvature of the Earth affect that flag, whether it was their height or its distance. And there's documentation of that. So the curvature of the Earth did not appear that, and they lied about it saying it did. So if you don't think we got anything done that day, I think you're wrong.
You just said you're on the globe side, though. What do you mean?
I'll never be on the globe side.
You just said you were, Dan.
No,
You said the Earth
you
measures and acts like a globe.
want me to be whatever you want me to be.
No,
You just
I
said the Earth
asked you.
acts like a globe, dude.
So you hear me fighting for the
Just said
globe?
that.
You guys pried it out of me what things measure. I discounted that by me not knowing what was real and whether physics. And now you have me promoting the globe. That's what cunts you're being? Don't do that to me.
Because you said then that it measures as a sphere. That's what
I have
you're saying.
plenty
No,
of
you just said it didn't.
I have plenty of physical work that I stand by that shows the Earth to be flat. You know
Right.
that? Right? So my flat Earth arguments are fucking stronger than anyone else's because I have
So why would you say it? Why would you
because
say
I
that?
have multiple physical observations documented very well. It's obviously behaves as such. So it probably is.
All right, so that's what you
No,
think.
just say the full sentence. Say like, I think the Earth is a sphere.
I think
If
the
that-
Earth measures as a sphere. If physics are true and there is no supernatural and this isn't some sort of rendering I don't understand, it's a sphere. If it's physical,
So
it's a sphere.
why you think?
It
Or a geoid?
measures and acts as such. I haven't personally.
I asked, what do you think?
It's obviously behaves as such. So it probably is.
All right, so that's what you
No,
think.
just say the full sentence. Say like, I think the Earth is a sphere.
I think
If
the
that-
Earth measures as a sphere. If physics are true and there is no supernatural and this isn't some sort of rendering I don't understand, it's a sphere. If it's physical, it's
So
a sphere.
why do you call yourself a flat earther?
Because I have been. I wouldn't
You're
pussy
not.
out.
You're
If I
not
was
anymore.
You're trying
and
to
there were
sabotage the flat
if the
earthers.
lasers move, it's dramatic.
So it's very negligible.
It's dramatic.
Ru-
It can hide the sun in 4 miles distance.
Can I ask you real quick, Dan? Because I went back to the live stream and I heard it. You said it acts and measures as such, referring to the globe.
Right. So did I say I did that?
No, I'm just saying that's what you said. What did you mean by that?
Right. The accusation was that I said I had measured it. So now do you hear the difference?
No,
Because
that
when
wasn't the
how
accusation.
what it would take for me to do so, I went straight out to and talked about how they don't really cover Earth. They don't really show it. So I'm sorry to be in the conversation, but you want me to be a glober now instead of a flat earther on a.
I don't want you to be anything, Dan. Just yourself, brother.
It doesn't prove to be a flat earth no matter what I call myself. Right? That's the problem.
Real quick to Tank's point, though. Tank, you understand, right? Like, if what you're saying is true, which it is, right? If the curvature is if it's negligible in local distances, right? Like, for example, with surveyors, where the difference between level and horizontal lines, right? In that paradigm, level literally means curved, and horizontal is like, perpendicular to the plane, etc. Whatever. They say that level and horizontal, for most surveying work, the difference in curvature is so negligible that it can be ignored. So let me ask you, where is this curvature actually substantiated in reality?
After a certain amount of inches,
Yeah, when?
you can measure it.
Yeah, but most survey work, they ignore it completely.
Right.
They treat it as
Right.
flat.
Right, because in construction, right, you have a distribution of gravity, and they're just making sure that's within a, alignment of the gravitational downforces. So there's no destruction of the structure, right? It's just it reduces wear and tear to line it with the gravitational pull to the center of the Earth. So this ability to be within 1,000 or 1 in 7,920 by a leveling measure, I mean, what is that? 63,000 inches per mile. I just did that on a calculator. I'm not that smart. That's 63,000 inches. So I mean, the negligibility is not some sort of theory or hypothetical exception for the argument. It's just reality.
How about
That
27 miles?
20, 30,000 inches adds up to a visible curve if you were to zoom out, right? So the immediate response is to say, well, how is it negligible if I can see it from far away? What's exactly?
No. What about
exists as far as
27
the
miles?
discerns.
What about 27 miles or 20 miles, right? There's a dam, I think it's in Scotland. No, Norway. I don't know. It's in Europe, and it's called Ashledag. Okay, it's a 20-mile long dam, perfectly flat because it has to hold that water back. Where's the curvature there? It's 20 miles long. Ooh, you all right, bro? Just take a hit.
So level up. What is your creepy little fucking stalker campaign against me now?
You
Because
denying the
already
shit you
heard
said 15 minutes ago on the stream. I just clipped it, so you got exposed. So you got
say
dunked on.
it, right? You already heard that, where you forced me to say something, and now you're going to have clipped it out. So
I wasn't even talking in the clip. Your rigger just asked you a question. It's in the clip. You can hear it.
Right? Well, he's gone now. Forget his stupid ass name, right? Because it's another ass. And he admitted he was being a stupid ass.
Guys, no one gives a fuck about your drama. Come on.
And now you're bothering to promote this.
So you've got like this flat top of the dam, right?
Me to have this position? What a creep you are. What a piece of shit and a creep.
Yeah, let me show you it, Tank.
Creep. Fucking creep.
Ashledag.
We all hate each other.
God, it's so hard to spell. 20-mile long dam. I got it. It's in the Netherlands.
Yeah, and I just looked at the Bedford level experiment. I'm sure you guys know about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doing my own math. Why can't I see it? Why would it be tricky to me? For me, it's easy to spatially map that, right? Man-made structure. They made it as level as possible. You're not going to get it accurate. If you're talking about the concrete across the top, I don't see how they make it that long. Or you're talking about the water behind the dam?
It's water.
Yeah, water behind the dam. Okay.
Well,
you'd be able to measure it then. It's that simple.
I'm gonna pull a Bev right now.
You would be able to measure 1 inch per 7,920 per mile.
So let me ask you this: in reality, does a water level reference a horizontal plane? In reality, can you use a water level tool to establish a horizontal plane? Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I think that's. Yeah, it's like what is that? Rhetorical? Yeah, of course.
Right. So water is level.
Okay.
So you have 20 miles long of just a dam, right? Just a flat dam. It's holding back water. Is that water curved? Or is it level?
Most of the levels I've used have a bubble in the middle, like an air bubble. And I just put it in between two lines.
Mm-hmm.
So that bubble, right, if I made my level 20 miles long, the bubble would be offset if it wasn't set level. See what I'm saying? Where the perspective you'd be putting on the small scale, it's not long enough to engage with the whole surface. So you're going to be able to measure level small scale that wouldn't be level as opposed to 20 miles away easily. Like that would be, yeah, obviously. But even that would be negligible. Like you'd probably have a structure that could last, 50 years versus 100 years, if you were to be off by this amount. You're talking about, 1 per 1,000 inches. So, I mean,
Take
I
that
don't know.
concept of the
But I'm
level.
assuming you guys get that. Yeah.
Take the concept of a level, put it in a flexible tube, right? And then
Mhm.
hold both ends of that tube, I don't know, whatever, 20 feet apart. You fill that tube with water, that's going to create a level.
Yeah. That'd be sick. A curved level. Dude.
That's what I mean.
No,
It has to be curving for the globe.
there's no substantiation tank. That's the point we're trying to
Well,
make. It has to be curved because we have to be on a ball. Tis globe. Right.
Those measurements are actually, they exist, guys.
Okay, show me.
It's not a model that reflects it.
I asked you, where can you substantiate it? Show me the measurements.
Yeah, I haven't been to the Bedford Canal, but they've got all the
I want
measurements from
curvature.
there. So
I want
just
curvature
like you guys
measurements.
haven't gone and measured a 20-mile stretch with a curved level, I haven't went and this canal. I can't prove that physically, right? But to say that this is all evidence
But you made the claim. You made the
No,
claim
you guys
that
are making the
there's
claim that this
curvature.
data is being, changed or acclimated for the idea of a ball versus it explaining it. I mean,
No, bro, you
I'm not
just
I'm not
claimed
making
that there is curvature, that there's measurements of curvature. I'm asking for them.
Is this, well, let me ask you, this is a genuine question, right?
Okay.
Is this not a technique you're employing?
No,
To
dude,
say
I'm
that
just
now I'm
trying to
making a
show
claim
you.
that I have to substantiate rather
I'm
than realize that.
highlighting our position, right? This is why there
Right.
are flat earthers. Because when you try and look for the substantiation of curvature, you can't find any. So if you found some, please present it to us. We've been waiting for years.
Well, this is the only way that there's any validity at all, is to manically set a goalpost like that.
It's not a manic goalpost,
Yes,
dude.
that's mania. It is.
How is that mania?
Because you have reality around you to go engage with. It's not just the words me and you can use to each other, right? Like, so for me, I'm like, okay, I can talk this out, I can walk it out, I can visually, imagine that they've just, oh shit, maybe they did do that. Maybe they just said they've given me all this data just because it has to be a ball, right? Because they want us to believe this, right? But oh wait, I can go out in the world and I can see the curvature of the earth. I can see
Where?
the environment I'm in, and know that
where do you see the
that I'm-
curvature of the earth outside, bro? Like, that's ridiculous.
When do you not see it?
All the
Every
time.
day. Every day I go
The
outside.
the clouds arcing over the horizon.
That's curvature to you.
Being on a
So
plane,
the clouds,
looking at the
clouds
tops of
touching the-
storms, you can
but the
see the
clouds
side
touching
of
the
a storm.
mountains?
How
Hold
am I
on.
looking at the side of a storm in the distance in a plane on the way to Vegas? Like, because it's
Okay,
curving, sitting on the
I'm
edge
in
of the
Vegas. I'm in Vegas, right?
atmosphere over there.
I'm in a basin, technically, right? So I'm surrounded by
I'm
mountains.
just worried that flat earthers might actually be blind. Like, most of you guys don't have the best vision. So the world, you're right.
Hold on, you're gonna let me respond to what you said, though? Like, you just said the clouds, okay? So when I look out to the horizon, all right, and I'm surrounded by mountains, and I see the cloud layer basically start to merge in with the mountain layer, are those clouds, and is the clouds actually merging with the mountains? No. It just appears that way. That's just due to perspective. It's just how we see. So in reality, we see in non-Euclidean space, right? Like it's like a curved visual field in a sense, right? Based on our optics, right? We have a limit to our vision. and then things in the distance would appear to converge at like a vanishing point, right? So like if you had a 360-degree circle around you from your point of view, at the edge of that circle, you would start to see things converging towards the horizon, right? Now, if you're going to claim that that's curvature, then you have to differentiate between what our eyes are telling us, right? Apparently, right? Like how trains converge in the distance, like train tracks, it looks like they're converging, but we know in reality they're parallel to from one another, right? So how can you substantiate that the reason why it appears to our eyes that there's, drop over distance, you have to prove that that's not an apparent phenomenon, and that's actually because of physical Earth curve. The thing is, no one can, because literally Earth is locally flat everywhere. Just really let that sink in. That's literally what Globers will believe.
Yeah. They admit that.
Like, just take it as like a logic train, Tank. You know what I mean? And you're right. Yeah, we should go out into the real world, test this ourselves. 100%. Totally with you. That's why I don't willy-nilly just say like, oh, well, there is curvature, right? Like, I'm not going to just say that. If I go outside in reality right now, like, I don't see any fucking curvature. Never see it from a plane. Even people like Neil deGrasse Tyson say you can't see curvature from a plane. You're not high enough.
Yeah, the only way you can is if there's a storm far enough in the distance that has a top or a high enough cloud top for you to be able to see it at an angle on the side. And you can see the spires sitting at angles in the distance if you're looking far enough. And I've got something called pilot vision. So I have the best possible vision humans can fucking have. So I don't, that's why I bring that point up. I really don't think people can see some of the things I might be able to see. And for
If
me,
there's a,
those are examples where I have spatial awareness of where I am, man.
if
Saying it's
there's a
totally flat is a whole spatial game for me that doesn't click.
if there's a
You know,
cloud ceiling, let's say 10,000 feet, and you're flying across, why doesn't that curvature close that ceiling angle down to the earth? Why can you continually see that cloud ceiling in the distance? Why isn't that ceiling changing, angling down like the earth?
it is.
But it doesn't. When you break through it, you could see under it the whole way. It doesn't change. It's not darkening down towards the earth. The clouds don't meet the earth like any other horizon.
Yeah, you're actually able to see the cloud. Like there's something called anviling, where when a storm gets tall enough, the upper level jet stream
But I'm
cuts
talking
them
about
off.
the bottom level. I'm talking
It
about the
cut,
ceiling. The ceiling's at the bottom level.
Okay, that's what I'm telling you about. So in the upper level atmosphere, when these storms get tall enough, the jet stream cuts off their top. It's called anviling. And you can see the tops of these anvils off in the distance, 20, 30, 40 miles away. Who knows?
No, you're
They're sitting above the cloud top. These are the tops of the clouds, Dan.
the bottom, right? You get it.
These are
Like, you're yourself. Yeah, my question remains: how come the bottom doesn't make a horizon line, meaning the Earth? Because as if it were doing, as you said, leaning, it would also be curving, dropping, right? It would be dropping towards the Earth. So why doesn't the ceiling?
That's the reason we see the anvil top, because the bottom is obviously like the cloud.
The bottom, when you can't see through the clouds, you're breaking through, coming down, and you look ahead of you as you broke through. Why is there clear sky ahead of you?
And you're just making up shit, Dan. I'm sorry.
I'm asking you a legitimate question. I don't.
Hold on, Dan, real quick. I want to break this down.
Why is there
cloud
of you? Why?
Hold on, Dan, real quick. Tank, do you see the picture I posted in live stream? Is that what you're referring to? The anviling? Cumulonimbus incus? Something like that. Is that what you're talking about?
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I want you to show me how does that indicate curvature to you, especially when you can actually see the cloud layer in the background where the horizon is. You can actually see it extending. How does that indicate curvature to you?
Yeah, do you see where the anviling is happening, how high it is? Up at this top, it's an invisible layer. It's a barrier. It's just created by the layer that's causing that anviling. Look in the distance. Is there any anviling occurring in those cloud tops?
Not that I can see in that picture. But what,
Yeah, so
what do you mean?
this
So
is a good example of the anviling. But if this anviled storm was off in the distance of the cloud layer on the back edge, like that one, the real small one, just under the angle
bottom
of
left?
the anvil, yeah, bottom
Yeah.
left kind of. If that was
Yeah.
farther back sitting and anviling, you would see it sliced in half by the existing cloud layer, and you do see kind of that effect of the smallest one in the back. You're only seeing the very top of the rising, bubbling storm clouds because of the cloud layer slicing in half slightly. That's because it's actually
So you
closer
think
to the ground compared to the cloud layer deck that we're seeing and closer to us.
I'm trying to really wrap my mind around how that indicates curvature. Like honestly, I'm trying to. I don't, because I mean you can see like this right here. Let me show you this anviling right here. Let's see if I can get two of them. There's another one right here.
These are fucking sweet pics.
So
Yeah, that's tall as fuck. Holy shit. If that anyway, I get excited about weather. But okay, so this is, I mean,
here's another
this
one
is
right
why,
here.
yeah, and Beasco, this is why I'm like unwilling to throw Flat Earth to the side. Right? I see the possible like visual trickery that I've heard of it explained many times. But for me, that doesn't change that we have a visual plane we're on that can't be just off into the distance, like totally flat. So like I'm more likely to believe the idea of like a concave Earth or something than just the idea of a totally flat plane. Now, granted, it could be that virtually it is actually flat, like because of consciousness, the way we engage with reality. There's some sort of holographic aspect to it that makes it we're just in a totally flat universe that projects as 3D as we interact with it. Like there's possibilities like that, but you know what I mean? Like my brain, I have to walk out. Where does the flat Earth exist in? And this tells me
Here's
there's
how I
not.
do it, right? Here's how I do
There
it.
has to be a barrier somewhere.
Here's how I do it.
Mhm.
I take the mainstream narrative that we were spoon-fed as children, and I go and examine that. Right? At the end of the day, no matter what Earth possibly could be, I know for a fact it's not a spinning water ball hurtling through space.
But it could be, dude.
Yeah, I don't see any evidence of that.
To push the mind to a place to joke about that system, to me, is its own bias. So I mean, now I'm not saying that
Well,
I
have you
can't put myself in
examined
that
it?
mindset. Yeah,
You're a
very
physics
thoroughly.
guy. You're a physics guy.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, I definitely can joke about it. You know what I mean? It's like, holy shit, if that's a lie, that's sneaky,
All right.
sneaky bastards.
I don't know if you've heard this argument yet, but I'm sure you've heard of it. But like in that model, right, that we're next to the vacuum of space, how do you have, this pressurized system here on Earth, 14.7 psi, and it gradually, and there's like a gradient, a pressure gradient, right? How can you have a pressure gradient without it being contained?
Because certain gases are actually matter, and they are pulled down just like we are, stuck to the surface of the Earth, so they can't escape into space. Earth is also a generator of these materials. So whatever gas is sustaining our atmosphere, it's a slow process of our Earth releasing that through the layers of the mantle and the crust with its interaction with the sun. Like this,
Well,
it's and
just think
the
about
mainstream
that on
model
its
hasn't
face
even
value,
admitted
though.
that. So
We'll just take that at face value, right? There is nothing between us and the vacuum of space, yet we have a pressurized system that it appears to be a gradient, right? Like Archimedes' tower, right? Like the density tower. So we have this like not homogeneous or idealized, like layered out atmos, but it's contained. And then you got to take into the fact that we're supposed to be spinning 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, while also simultaneously going around the sun at 67,000 miles per hour, while also simultaneously the sun is pulling us and the rest of the solar system around the black hole in the center of the galaxy at 600,000 miles per hour. And you have all these different types of movements. Yeah, exactly. So you have all these types of movements, yet we have this pressurized system, right? That seems to be dynamic and fluctuating, right? But it's not contained, right? I don't understand. I can't wrap my mind around how there's nothing in between us and the vacuum of space, and we're doing all these movements, and I just can't wrap my mind around it, dude. I can't. That's a huge part of it. Then like that makes no fucking sense, dude. Not to mention we're doing all these different types of movements, right? Like that spiral movement that you're seeing right there. Yet we see, you know, 2 star rotations, right? Southern star rotation and northern star rotation. Like how do you even explain that? Like how do we have counter rotations in the sky, yet we're also doing the spiral across the galaxy at like crazy speed? That doesn't make any sense. But then you have to realize like, oh, okay, this is why in their paradigm they make things so literally astronomically far away that your brain can't comprehend that there should be, like, we think in our minds, right, just by talking about this, like there should be parallax changes, right? We should be able to see that parallax change. But they make it like trillions of light years away. So that way we can't, oh, it's just so far away that we wouldn't notice the change, right? It's insane to me. Like you go into the heliocentric paradigm, you go into like fucking how they establish the astronomical unit, and it's completely based off of presumption after presumption after presumption, dude. It's nuts.
It really is.
That's the part that I'm saying like this is a lot to chew on, right? Because if you're going by Occam's razor, right? Basically, you're going with the least amount of presumptions. Flat Earth wins every time in that aspect, right? And then you can go into, then you have to go into other things where we get into speculation, like, okay, well, how do we have counter rotations over the flat Earth? Like, how do star rotations in the celestial sphere work, etc.? But in reality, right, like, if no one told me about this heliocentric paradigm, I would have never assumed any of that shit. How can you jump to those leaps? Do you get what I mean? Like, if you were a child, like, you have to be told this information. Like, it's something you have to be told. Like, no one would ever say, like, oh, yeah, the sun is setting because I'm actually spinning backwards and I'm actually falling away from it, instead of it just going across the sky and setting. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't see anything that's self-evident about the globe. And I think that's where most flat earthers are, right? Like, you can call us flat earthers. Like, you could just be a helioskeptic, essentially. Like, you just be a mainstream narrative skeptic. Like, who knows what the fuck we're on?
That's pretty much where I'm at. Like, I'm at the point where I don't know I don't think the environment we're in is understood by mainstream. And I think branding, just like I agree with the Occam's razor, looking at locality and seeing some of these pieces of evidence that can get us to real questions, and especially you start questioning, what environment we're flying through and where we exist. I think you did a good job of going through those things, hitting those good points. It's like when you really question it and you spend time doing it, how many minds spend most of their time just living in what the mainstream model has them thinking versus people
Oh,
that
dude,
spent
it's a
time.
trap, dude. It's a
Yeah.
fucking trap for smart people. Astrophysics, literally, I think was crafted and invented to basically keep the smartest of us locked in the mathematical fucking, masturbation for the rest of their lives in order to keep their careers. Because when you look at astrophysics, dude, it's there. All of the assumptions are insane. Like, have you ever seen like what they claim exoplanets are? Right? Like, you'll see these CGI renditions of exoplanets around other stars, right? But in reality, what they're actually looking at is, I'm not even kidding, 9 pixels on a screen. And they're saying that's an exoplanet.
Yep.
Like, that's insane, dude.
Light wavelength. They have extraordinary claims for JW. JW telescope. It's like, can't remember the acronym fully, but they got
Yeah.
the James Webb telescope. I mean, this, what's it called? The light spectrum studies.
Spectroscopy or something like that.
I think
Yeah.
that's it. And they're saying they're figuring out ways to read biological signatures.
It's insane, dude. It's absolutely fucking like it's ridiculous.
We really, really gotten on the manic ship in the mainstream. That's the thing for me. I'm like, they got Katy Perry going to space. They got, these almost new age reruns of stuff we know is. I mean, they're rewriting
Dude,
the
that was
textbooks
all
every 10
occult
years.
shit, dude. That was all an occult ritual, right? The ship was called the Shepherd, the New Shepherd or whatever. She basically was promoting the goddess. She was like, "Oh, my goddess." Like she kept saying that. It was ridiculous. Like there's so much behind this. If you go in the origins of NASA and, Jack Parsons and JBL, right? And like they're all fucking Satanists and Freemasons and shit, and like the idea of conquering the moon is such a like esoteric idea, and they use that to basically propagandize the rest of the world into thinking that America had supreme power by reaching the moon. There's so much to it, but
Yeah, but America actually does have that power.
Yeah, they made us the intellectual property little piggy bank. This is their little safe haven to hide all their shit behind the national security blanket.
Like, America invented AI. America invented the nuclear bomb. America went to the moon. Like, this
yikes.
country's crazy powerful.
You see how they think about how much laundering power there is with if you have a private sector that already has the tech and they're just drip feeding it to the government. And you see this in the world. Like the private sector has most of the money. Most of this $1 trillion a year budget going to the military black budget is going into the private sector for their contracts.
Well, see, that's another big thing, though, right? Like nuclear power. What is nuclear power, right? It's just literally steam. That's it. You're taking hot rods, radioactive rods, and you're cooling it off and creating steam. That's all nuclear power is. You're basically taking these radioactive materials and extracting the energy from them in such a way that it's creating steam, and it's just turning a turbine. That's literally all nuclear power is. And that the huge lie that we've been fed with the atomic bomb dropping on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, like I have this whole book on how it was completely fabricated and that we actually just firebombed most of them. And the footage is laughable, bro. It's laughable. Like there's evidence that you can see this footage was probably made in Lookout Mountain. You know Lookout Mountain in California, the military base?
Mm-mm.
Oh, dude, see, if you go into the history of all this, you'll see, like, it's just fear and propaganda in order to create a narrative to control how you perceive the world, especially when it comes to, like, power, right? Oh, we have nuclear bombs. Oh, we have mutually assured destruction, right? If everyone has nuclear capabilities, nuclear weapons, then it's going to keep everybody in line. Like, that was the idea behind it. And you look at the footage from have you ever seen the Lawrence Livermore footage? You ever seen that?
I have not.
Oh, dude, if you take a step back and just examine it, it literally looks like they're just filming the sun with the solar filter and just removing it. Let me show you this shit. It's insane. Sorry, you were gonna say something. I level up.
No, not good.
Let's see. I think it was called Project Dominic Lawrence. There it is. All right, so here's just one of them.
I've watched all these, man. The D class that happened 3 or 4 years ago. It's actually been like 5 or 7 now.
5 or 7, yeah, 7 years ago. But this is the footage, dude. This is supposed to be a nuclear bomb in the sky. It literally just looks like if you were to take a step back and be like, huh, if I was going to create propaganda that had nuclear capabilities and I could blow up a nuke in the sky, what would be the cheapest way to fake that? Oh, I know. Let me just look at the sun in slow-mo. Like, that's all it is, dude. And then you see, like, how people can recreate the mushroom cloud effect by dropping colored dye in water and then you take that background and you put that background over another background with like clouds, and you can literally recreate what looks like to be an atomic explosion. And then you got to think about the time that was created, right? The 60s. It was like the hippie era and like psychedelic. It was like a whole psychedelic revolution. It's all connected, bro. It's just they tricked the world basically into thinking that we have all these capabilities when in reality we probably don't. I think they're really hiding 0 point energy in the ether. That's what I'm thinking.
Hank, what do you know about Aether?
Lots.
He does actually.
All right.
That's another big aspect, dude. Like they
I agree
created
with you
this
on the-
entire they created this entire narrative to cover up the real technology, right? Like the real fucking power, which is I think the ether and extracting energy from it.
I think so too. So that's what worries me. I think they got they can really create these reports with some sort of frequency resonance ether crazy shit. But they're calling it nukes. They're coming up with this fake perturbation theory, science to cloak it. That's what I'm thinking right now. Because most of the plasma technology, like if you were to specialize and try to research that, I mean, you have to get clearance to go learn it. Like they only teach it in the military. You can only get so far with what's available in the private sector. So like plasma seems to be a interesting common denominator. And what Eric Dollards has said, heavy side Farnsworth about the vacuum tubes. There's something interesting, and the government has made an effort to go destroy all those old televisions with the big ones in them, and it's real weird. I don't know enough. You know what I mean? There's so much more to learn, it seems.
Hank, have you heard like a physicist try to defend the globe to a flat earther? Like try to explain the gas pressure in a vacuum?
Oh,
argument?
dude, it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Like the most educated people they just have no answer. They just get checkmated.
They always just go to
What do you
gravity.
mean? Gravity is a completely sufficient answer.
No,
No,
it's not.
it's not even close.
I had to do all the complex math when I did computer science and cybersecurity and forensics. So all the spatial equations, I simplified that in my head. Like once you see them actually mapped in a model, you can say, oh, right, I can piggyback off of like a calculator or a legend to create the equation, right? And how useful are those for me as a computer scientist? They weren't that useful, right? So I just want to pass the test. But that spatial awareness I have of it, for me, tells me that they're at a place where they're so reliant on these up to to make a jet fly and to create an engine that they're confident enough to scale that up into things they don't know. That's where I totally think they're delusional. So I think that's
Have you ever seen the equations for rigid body, for rigid body motion and with aerodynamics and shit? All the equations are simplified to basically treat Earth as flat and stationary. You know that, right?
Yeah. And these are just reference points. This would just go back to which was I think we were
I know.
locality.
Yeah, but in terms of simulation, right? They can't even do 3-body. There's the 3-body problem.
Yeah.
Like you can do
It's 'cause
2
they
bodies,
always-
but as soon as you add a 3rd body, the fucking simulators break every time, all the time. Like gravity is debunked.
It is intriguing, isn't it?
Yeah, when you realize
That's
that
why
gravity is just a placeholder, right?
unless there's the ether, and then you have a big explanation for how. Like, think about this: the helical movement that they project in this delusional model, it actually fits a perpendicular.
Vorticular,
Yeah, like some sort of
top-down vortex motion, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so suck that in and invert it. What if
Yeah,
everything's
exactly.
still? Yeah, that's where I align. Yep.
That's geocentrism, my dude.
Yep. So you know what I mean? I'm with you, bro. Like when Flat Earth goes fucking viral and they, disclosure happens, I'm gonna be with everybody, with the Flat Earthers. I'm gonna be like, fuck yeah, like it's actually real. Which is just, dude, there's 8 billion people out there that are dealing with a branding problem. Anything that gets branded, they do a debunk process, right? So like a virus, and then you're just fighting against mouthpieces. How many mouthpieces are there? Who has the most money? Who has the most influence?
Dude, I'm going to show you something. Most people don't know, but Isaac Newton had 2 theories of gravity. The other one was that the Earth was basically inhaling the ether, etheric breath, and exhaling material things, right? Like a top down. Like he literally thought gravity was bleeding in top down. Just like Tesla, who believed in this like cosmic force or something like that was top down as well. And that it was this tenuous force, the ether.
Yep.
Like that seems like a more viable explanation for me in terms of like the explanation of the downward vector. Right? But the thing is that you still have to have containment.
Well, theoretically, like once the ether's in play, you've got so many mechanisms going on. Like for me, it leans more towards damn it, pulling a blank. What happens when you get kind of tricked by your eyesight? It just looks like it's this, but it's really like a trick of the eye, I guess. Yeah, mirage type effect. I think there'd be such a strong effect like that in reality because of the Aether's, exponentially getting stronger and stronger from its resonant source.
At altitude, that's been measured, dude. You have stronger. Dude, you have stronger effects at higher altitudes, right? Like the sidereal rotation is stronger. Like if you look at like Galiv,
charge gradient,
dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gravity is just fucking gay at this point.
Yeah, they're like, we got to split it up into gravitational A and B because we found out there's a stronger and a weaker version of gravity.
Yeah,
look at these lasers we built.
It's ridiculous.
Dude, CERN and LIGO have both been like brought into reality through satanic ritual. Like they openly did the rituals out in the front of the construction sites and shit. There's all sorts of stuff that they buried in the concrete. A little like voodoo magic. I don't know. I'm just joking, but I don't know what kind of shit they made and put in there.
Have you actually looked at the data from LIGO when they discovered these 2 black holes are colliding and we measured the gravitational wave? Well, when you actually look at the PDF and the paper, they run all their noise through match template filtering and a convoluted neural network until they get the right output that matches Einstein's field equations. Think about that for a second. How the fuck is that not just cherry picking?
Right.
Like I could fart and cause a gravitational wave, and they could take my fart and then filter that in and then find an Einstein field equation with that
we found the God particle
process.
Everybody quick Jim, come in here. I found the God particle.
Yeah, dude, see, you're there, dude.
Yeah. Well, I struggle a lot because I'm at this place where I don't think branding. I think branding is part of the virus they want us to do. They want us to
the flat versus globe dichotomy. That's also a control mechanism. Yeah, 100%. I'm with you.
Yeah, because the speed of everything, right? It just shit gets escalated. People are like, no, but did you not think about this? And like, just shit gets leveled up so fast. It's like nobody's learning anything. So.
Have you listened to Witsit in his debate?
Yeah, I got to hear him on Tim Pool. I actually got to talk to Witsit himself when I first joined EA. I didn't even know who the fuck he was.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like he has like videos, or there's like videos. He's on modern day debates, like debating Globers, and he has videos debating like physicists and shit like that.
Yeah, I've seen probably like I don't know, like 10, something like that of his videos, just randomly
All right.
hopping around.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he's
think
pretty good.
yeah, and I've defended him. Like, I'll be in there over the last months. I was with QOP and Fundy and a couple of guys over in Bythos, and they're being extremely critical of Witsit, right? Trying to expose him as this whole fake op guy, and I'm just, I'm willing to, play along, kind of hear him out, but like it gets to a point where it's just delusional. He's just a guy who's probably taken a lot of action, and the way he speaks and the way he can articulate that draws a lot of attention. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Nobody thinks he's
Right,
like
yeah.
an agent for the flat Earth stuff though. Like everyone thinks like he's really good on flat Earth.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just doesn't strike me as the fact he gets on Tim Pool and Tim Pool's sitting there kind of trying to like Tim Pool is so sneaky about it. It's so hard to tell, but he does this thing where he'll like kind of bring up a topic that seems like he's talking about what you were talking about, but he's just totally different. And he talks over guest all the time. I was so surprised he gave him so much time on Tim Pool to talk. Like he let Witsit just rip it on there. That was wild.
Yeah, I remember that actually. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think it was that good, that whole debate
I
thing.
think they picked a topic they knew wouldn't have a lot of weight, so even when he went off on it, it wouldn't matter.
Well, Witsit basically used Robertson Jenis as like a teammate by
Mhm.
arguing for geocentrism most of the time, which is smart because
Mm.
there were certain points where Robert was like, "No, dude, that's ridiculous," and started defending Witsit, which is smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, but besides all that, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna mention now. God damn it.
Talking about Aether,
Yeah, we're talking about
black
Aether.
holes, LIGO.
Yeah, I have something. Oh, that's right. I wanted to show you the Isaac Newton thing. Just like this
Bacon
little
and
clip.
Newton are both pretty sus.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude. But you know how they just, auto globers basically just treat Newton's like, oh, can't go
The laws
against
of
the
motion.
the laws of motion and all that shit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my brother is an engineer. Every Christmas, it's just like, can't say anything. I've got a family member that's on the James Webb team. I probably shouldn't dox that, but that's not that important.
Here, I'll just stream this real quick because it's super interesting. It's only like a minute.
My uncle was a high-level official at the Pentagon. I used to mess with him, asking questions. Now my family's like all, think I'm crazy. I'm like, what the heck? I was a kid that was interested in classified shit. Why would I not ask questions?
Dude, if I had an uncle like that, yeah, I'd be talking to him almost every day, being like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah, dude. We always went to his huge ass plot of land with his mansion and a pond for family reunions. We used to see this panther out on his land. It was crazy.
That's crazy. Here, come here. Check the stream out real quick.
Oh, yep.
I don't want to stop the flow too long, but I think you'd find this interesting. I actually found the manuscript too that they're talking about. I'll post it after. But yeah, dude, there's oh yeah, I was gonna post that. I actually found it, dude. It took me years to find, and I finally actually got it, dude. The unpublished manuscript, The Vegetation of Metals. Where is it?
What does he talk about?
I wonder if they've just like done this whole crystallization thing. They talk about crystallizing in solutions a lot, and they don't ever
There.
talk about this idea Isaac's leaning towards. I wonder what solution he was using to create those They're saying there were metallic trees.
Mm-hmm.
That is so interesting.
Yeah, listen
That's
to
a
this.
badass
Ready?
find.
I'll read part of it. So, of
Naturalis.
nature's obvious laws. That's the name of this manuscript, by the way. Of nature's obvious laws. Begins with a discussion of the dendrites grown within flasks by early modern alchemists. Like many thinkers in the early modern period, Newton believed that metals and minerals, quote unquote, vegetated, i.e., grew within the earth, the subterranean mineral veins corresponding to the branches of terrestrial trees. The artificial production of mineral dendrites provided a laboratory-based support to this theory and promised to give further clues about the invisible processes of metallic generation and multiplication within the earth. It is conceivable that this part of the text could represent a digest of notes taken down by Newton from a single source that he was reading. We know from other manuscripts, however, that Newton was in the habit of commonplacing his own thoughts and ruminations as well as those of others, sometimes in the form of numbered lists. After laying out some comparisons between the vegetation of metals and that of plants and animals, Newton then passes to a more specific discussion of the generation of minerals and salts. He begins with the observation that metals are dissolved by acidic liquors, whereupon they become vitriols, quote unquote, corresponding to modern sulfates or salts. He then argues that a much more intimate compounding can occur when the subterranean metals are in vaporous form. This leads Newton to a detailed theory of the formation of various salts, particularly niter or saltpeter, potassium nitrate, and sea salt. His leading idea is that niter forms when the metallic vapors combine directly with very subtle water vapor, whereas sea salt originates when the metallic vapors combine with denser vapor or liquid water. The combination of vapor to vapor yields a subtler, less fixed, more volatile or more subject to thermal decomposition products such as niter, whereas the combination of denser water vapor and metallic vapor produces the quote-unquote grosser, a more fixed sea salt. At the end of 2R, Newton argues in typically quantitative fashion that the continual generation of salts is confirmed by the fact that they are constantly washed down by the descent of water, and would therefore disappear from the Earth's surface if they were not regenerated. Yeah. Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, it goes
It
really
is.
deep into sol nitrum theory, which is a mechanical explanation of gravity. Yeah, Sendivogius had argued that there was a circulation of the volatile niter found within the Earth, that it was driven up through the Earth's surface and high into the atmosphere. In the higher reaches, the volatile niter acquired the virtues of the stars and planets, whereupon it returned to Earth and acted as a universal principle of generation. Newton here enlarges on this idea by making an ethereal cognate to the volatile niter that is a principle not only of generation but of gravitation. As the ether returns to the earth, it is driven downwards at an incredible rate, and in its descent, the ether carries down other bodies. Upon reaching the earth, the ether gradually becomes, quote unquote, condensed and interwoven with the bodies it meets there, acting as a, quote unquote, tender ferment or active agency within matter. Interestingly, Newton suggests that the ether may be, quote unquote, entangled with a spirit that it itself, quote unquote, the body of light. Yeah, dude. Nuts.
Yep. This makes you want to go back and read a lot of old works, maybe 1700 stuff, 1800, and find what kind of fruit that we've thrown down.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. I was looking at. I just put in my notes the what's it called? Theoria Principia by Isaac Newton.
Mm-hmm.
That will be interesting to read. How much is there any resources to like decode books like that?
Oh yeah.
Like, are there any like simple translation or anything like that?
I mean, you should just do the source material, and you can do it step by step. Use AI to help you out. That'd be the best way, dude.
Ooh, that's genius.
You should do AI to basically help you establish the table of contents.
Dude, I'm thinking about buying the $30 Grok Lite. The free Grok is still really good though. Because especially I'm just organizing my thoughts. I don't know which one to use. I want to make my own fucking model. I want to start training one. I feel like if you start training one early, it'd be majorly beneficial.
Dude, think about this. This is crazy. I didn't even know. So, if you look up Sol Nitrum,
How do you
what its
spell that?
use is, SALNITRUM, it says it's used, it provides nitrogen for plant growth. It's used as food preservation. It's used in explosives, and it's important in alchemy as a model for understanding mineral formation as the key ingredient in early chemical experiments. It literally does feed plants, though.
Wow. That's just
Yeah.
sodium, potassium, or potassium nitrate then, right?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. This is the white powder, dude.
It's a primary ingredient in gunpowder as well.
Wow. Wow.
It says salt. It's called saltpeter. Yeah. Was an extraordinarily important commodity in the early modern world.
These sneaky fuckers. Wow.
It says salt. It's called saltpeter. Yeah. Was an extraordinarily important commodity in the early modern world.
These sneaky fuckers. I've seen saltpeter in so many games.
And Aether, right? And Ethereum, and dude.
Wow.
I'm telling you, man. Like, don't think about the flat versus globe, psyop dichotomy where we're endlessly debating flat versus globe. It's gonna happen. But like,
Mana. This is mana, dude. What the shit?
yeah, mana from the heavens.
Am I wrong? Like this white powder you could make into a bread? Like, what would happen if you actually got,
Yeah.
a pure version of this? The white powder stuff. Have you heard of Ormus gold? Or what is it? Orbitally rearranged gold? It's like a white powder you can bake into a bread. I wonder if it's just actually acting as saltpeter or potassium nitrate. And I wonder what other materials could you convert into this white powder version of itself?
Yeah, I mean,
That
he was
had
obsessed with this stuff because he believed it was a key into like getting closer to the Philosopher's Stone.
white crystalline solid. Have you heard when they first were making gunpowder, they were like boiling urine to make gunpowder? I saw a documentary talking about the whole process. Yep,
Dude, this is
potassium
crazy.
nitrate. So you can get potassium nitrate from your urine by boiling it to concentrate. Holy shit.
I mean, it totally makes sense. If the dude was an alchemist, of course he would have an alchemical explanation of gravity that they would hide from the public.
But doesn't alchemical kind of imply that gravity is like a physical thing? I mean, I kind of think gravity is just like, I don't know, kind of like not material.
Well, it depends on what you mean by gravity. Like, are you equivocating gravity in the way Newton is saying it, or are you saying it, in terms of it's a pseudo force and gravity is actually just a, space-time coordinate or whatever?
Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of material since it's like mass bending space-time.
Yeah, that's where you lose me. The mass bending, like, that's all nonsense to me. Because space-time is just math. It's just literally a coordinate system, right? It's like a geodesic. And I think they just literally created that coordinate system in order to explain why there's no, measurable motion of the Earth. So they just said, Earth is actually going down a linear path, but it's falling in a geodesic curve of space-time. Like, what the fuck?
So, like, you can imagine a 3D coordinate system in your head, right? Like a bunch of boxes. Like, if each unit is one, it would form like a bunch of boxes almost, right?
Yeah, no, I know how the coordinate system works. I'm just saying, like,
so when
as
you
an
warp
explanation, it's
space-time,
crazy.
you're just instead of making it so all points are equal distance from each other, you're making it so that some points are closer to other points. Right, you're making it so it's no longer uniform.
What is space-time, dog?
I mean, that's like a very difficult question, but I mean,
it's a simple question. It's just a mathematical concept to explain why there's no measurable motion of the Earth. You can invoke space-time, or you can just be like, yo, Earth's stationary.
I mean, you could consider like space like the canvas of the universe, and you could consider time like how the canvas changes over, a period of time or like duration.
Yeah, but you do realize it was invoked in order to explain why there's no measurable motion of the Earth, because in the heliocentric paradigm, we're supposed to be orbiting around the sun.
Why are you saying there's no measurable motion of the Earth? I think that's pretty false, right?
That's true.
Pretty sure you're wrong about that.
Okay, I mean, you can think that, but show me a measurement where they actually measured the motion of the Earth. Didn't they try that 100 years ago?
All the celestial bodies are moving, right? They're moving relative to us. So.
Yeah, but that's kinematics, though. That's just a kinematic explanation, right? Like, you can conceive that the Earth is stationary and that the bodies are actually moving, around Earth, or that Earth is moving relative to the bodies that are far away. Like, it's just kinematics. It's not a dynamic explanation. Like, you can kinematically.
What? You're not asking for an explanation. You were asking me to demonstrate that the Earth is moving, right?
Yeah, looking at the stars does not prove that the Earth is moving, because you can kinematically demonstrate that it could be geocentric or heliocentric. They're equivalent.
I mean,
it's not mutually exclusive.
What do you think is more likely? Do you think all the celestial objects are moving and they're all perfectly designed around the Earth? Or do you think the Earth itself is just moving?
I don't think the Earth is moving, dog.
Like, doesn't it seem kind of bizarre to think like the whole universe is built around you? Like, I don't know.
No.
Like, you're not God, bro.
I never claimed to be God.
I don't know. It just seems a bit like, I don't know.
You don't think that that's part of a narrative psyop, though, to make you think like, oh, you're not special, nothing revolves around you, we can't possibly be in the center of the universe, and it appears that everything is revolving around Earth, because that's just philosophically not our cup of tea. That's
Well, like, I do think we're special. I think God, like, created us for a reason. But
Well-
I don't think, the place... I mean, Earth is very special, right? Earth is the place with life on it, but I don't think, all the other stars and planets in the universe are, like, designed around Earth like that.
Have you ever seen the movie The Principal, dude?
No?
Oh, dude, you never seen The Principal? Okay, let me show. I'm gonna link this to you, Sasha. In good faith, you gotta watch this. It's so good. It's like a really high production quality movie about geocentrism. It's by Robert Sugenis. And what he does is he interviews all of these leading astrophysicists in their current explanation of like the cosmic background medium, or the cosmic background microwave or whatever, and how you have this thing called like the axis of evil, where it literally appears as though all of the stars are formed around Earth in geocentric circles. There's like different layers. Like all of the evidence points towards the fact that we are indeed in the center of the universe, because everything relative to us is showing that we are, like, the stars are moving around us. Here, I'll send it to you because it'll get lost in live stream. It's free on YouTube, dude. Highly recommend watching it, because
Maybe I'll fall asleep to it.
sure.
I don't really... I have a low attention span, so I can't really watch a full movie.
Well, you could definitely watch it on two times speed, but it goes over a lot of things like that. But let me see here. Speaking of Witsit and shit like that, I think he has a short video if you want to watch the True Earth videos. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find it.
I have some weird beliefs also. Like, I think the universe might be a cube, but I think the Earth is a sphere.
Huh. Why do you think it? I mean, how can you even substantiate what the entire universe is?
Well, because 6 is the number of the physical world. That's why it's the mark of the beast. When you fold a cross in on itself, it becomes a cube. And then the most compact way to organize 3D space is with cubes. That's why when you imagine 3D coordinate system, it's a bunch of cubes. Likewise, in 2D space, the most efficient way to pack things is with a hexagon. You can notice that cubes and hexagons are both 6. 6 is the number of the physical world, right? Likewise, carbon is also made out of 6. It has 6 neutrons, 6 protons, 6 electrons. And same with space. It has 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 24 hours, or 666. Everything relating to the physical world is the number 6.
Yeah, I've heard that before. That's That's like Saturn black cube worship.
Yeah, and that's why in Mecca they go around the black cube. They form rings around it, and they circle the black cube like the rings of Saturn.
Yeah, that's a lot of esoteric things about the universe that are basically not really substantiated. It's more of like a philosophical stance. What I was talking about is just, taking empirical observations of the stars, right? And then when you think about it kinematically, and you actually just take the empirical observations at face value, like you'll see that all evidence is pointing towards that Earth is in the center of the universe, or of the known universe, of what we can see or whatever.
Bro, the Earth isn't even the center of our solar system. The sun is the center of our solar system. Like, everything goes around the sun. That's just what I believe, at least.
Yeah, I mean, again, all observations are done here on Earth, right?
Well, I mean, we have sent things into space, but you guys think that's fake.
Yeah, most of that is. I think so.
So, I mean, it's kind of hard to make progress if you just dismiss the evidence as fake.
I mean, if you really think that, we sent something called Voyager, and it's constantly taking photos and sending it back, has no way of like repairing itself or maintaining itself, and it's just sending back signals willy-nilly, millions and millions of miles, that doesn't physically compute in my head because of the inverse square law and how radio works, right? The only way that works is in your paradigm that there's a vacuum, like there's nothing in space, like there's a vacuum space. I don't believe that at all. I don't think you can have empty space. I think that's bullshit.
I think in the globe model, actually, most of the physical world is just empty space. Like even an atom itself is empty space. Like
Yeah, I think
between the
that's
electrons.
yeah, I don't subscribe to the atomic model either.
Yeah, I don't really subscribe to that model either. Like I think the world is a lot more immaterial and like it's made out of quantum foam.
Yeah, see, quantum foam is literally just a pseudonym for ether, and they basically needed to reinvent it because they already got rid of it 100 years ago. You can't just bring it back because then it would fall in the face of everything that they've done since then. So they have to reinvent it with this new term like quantum field theory or quantum foam. And when you ask them, okay, what are the fields made of? They lose it. They just
No,
fucking
the fields are made out of information.
okay. And what's the information made out of?
I think the information is fundamental. I think fundamentally the whole universe is just information or vibrations.
So it's just a concept.
Yeah, it's
Not
just a
actually.
bunch of
It has no physical meaning.
it's just a bunch of mathematical functions interacting with each other, basically.
Right. So no physical meaning behind it at all. Just
Yeah,
calculations.
I think the physical world is an illusion.
All right. Well,
I think most of
fair
it is
enough.
actually. I think we live in the mind.
Fair enough. I mean, if
But
you
I
go
think,
there, we can't really go too far into the
like, I'm saying the
conversation, dude.
physical world is real, but I'm saying it's not material. That's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to say.
Physical world is real, but it's not material.
Yeah, at a fundamental level, I don't think it's like a bunch of. I mean, like, what do you think? It's a bunch of marbles? Like the universe is just a bag of
No.
marbles that God's playing with?
No, dude, I think everything is a perturbation of the ether, as Witsit puts it. Like, that's the fundamental thing, right? The spirit, as you will. Like, if you have the first presumption being that, we are completely surrounded in ether, that's the first assumption, then you can have a physical explanation of everything else, right? Like light propagation, the downward vector, like the explanation of why we have a downward vector. If you have a top-down ether just basically bleeding in to Earth, pulling things down with it, it explains a whole bunch of phenomena, like magnetism. Like, how do you explain magnetism?
I'm not really sure. I'm not a physicist.
Well, that's
But I think
that's another thing that, if you ask a particle physicist about magnets or magnetism, in the mainstream paradigm, they literally say that magnetism is like the force, right? Between two magnets or whatever, like the pulling force or the lines of force or whatever, are made up of virtual photons, massless virtual photons, because they have to have a reductionist view of it. It's insane. Same thing with
well,
the
do you know
graviton.
that virtual photon thing is basically photons canceling each other out. So it's like you have a positive photon and a negative photon. And that's actually how the universe can exist. You may ask yourself, why is there something rather than nothing? But the answer is there's something and nothing at the same time.
But the reason why they needed to create virtual photons is because of the atomic model and particle theory, right? They have to have a particle for it, right? Because everything has to be broken down into little ball beads, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of physicists, modern physicists, are misguided trying to go for a complete materialism belief. Like, I don't think they're going to ever find a graviton or a gravity particle.
And they never will. I literally
Yeah.
had someone in EA basically be like, do you think it's reasonable to ask for a measurement of gravitons if we literally don't have the technology to measure it? Insane.
Yeah, like, I agree with you. I think that is insane also.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though. Like, if you're comfortable with having your own conception, right, of how the universe works, how things are made up of, that's fine. Again, all I ask is that you actually examine what the mainstream is saying and what they're rolling out. And if you look at quantum field theory and why it's being rolled out, is because they have to have an explanation for certain phenomena,
Well,
but like they don't want to incorporate the ether. It's insane.
well, we're just slowly trying to improve our model as we learn new things.
Yeah, but it's not even
Like,
your model, though. You just agreed.
we were
man.
wrong. Like, scientists was probably wrong for like completely throwing out the whole ether. Like, that was probably a mistake. But I mean, now we're like fixing that mistake. So like, shouldn't that be a good thing?
You don't fix a mistake by hiding it.
I mean, we're trying to make it work out. We're trying to go as we learn. We don't understand everything. Like,
Right,
we're
but
not
I'm just
saying our understanding's perfect.
no, I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that if you really examine the mainstream theory, and then you see the history of like why they had to hide the ether, why they created this entire paradigm around the vacuum of space and space time, and basically relativism to the point where nothing has any physical meaning. It's just all mathematical constructs on top of mathematical constructs. You can see why that would be a problem in the future, because we haven't went anywhere, right? We haven't really had any major innovative progress, since like 100 years ago, like Steinmetz and
the internet,
Maxwell.
we
But all of
created
that
the
stuff
internet.
was but that's all based off of things that were created 100 years ago, right? Like
No, it's not. What?
electrical field theory. Yeah.
AI, we had no conception of AI 100 years ago.
I'm not talking about AI. You just said the
You just
internet.
said that we haven't made any technological innovation in 100 years.
Yeah, fundamentally, like physically, right? Like we're still using the same.
You mean like in physics, but we haven't made innovation?
Yeah, in physics. Yeah, in physics specifically. I think the only thing you could say probably would be the semiconductor, which I think is absolutely insane. Like, I don't know how that was even discovered. And that's like key to most things that we use now. Yo, what up, Gilly? What up, Taylor?
Hey, hey.
You're just going back and forth on a bunch of different things. Like, I was basically just asking why Sasha thinks that space-time is valid, and then we just kind of branched out from there.
Space-time?
Yeah, like, I get my worldview, like, a lot of people think bottom up, but I kind of try to think top down from my worldview. Like, I think very esoterically, and I think very intuitively. It's kind of just how I make up my opinions.
I get it. I was just trying to understand like where you're coming from. Like, I can't remember where that theory came from about like, oh, everything in the material world is 6, right? Like carbon is 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 6 protons. That's why it's the number of the beast. That's why the number of the beast is a man.
Yes.
All that stuff.
A lot of that's been my observations.
Gilly, do you know where that came from? I know you're more into the esoteric shit. Where did that concept come from? Like Black Cube, Saturn?
Yeah, it's Saturnian worship. They worship Saturn.
Yeah. That's the macroprosopus in Kabbalah.
It's the what?
The macroprosopus. The tree of life in Kabbalah. It's the beard of Saturn. But some say it comes from El, which is the Canaanite god, who is the father of the gods. Kind of correlates with Odin too, father of the gods.
Yes.
But Saturn is very, it's very connected to this hexagon
usually
on top of, this storm, this never-ending storm supposedly on Saturn or something like that.
A lot of it comes from Jewish mysticism. This is why.
Yeah, the Kabbalah, right?
Jewish people, their holy day is on Saturday or Saturn Day.
Yeah. And the Romans, they used to celebrate Saturnalia twice a year, on the winter solstice and the summer solstice. Where they switched roles was the summer solstice, I think. But the winter solstice was very correlative to like why we have, for instance, Santa Claus. That is coming from the Freemasons, who are basically Kabbalists, Jewish mysticists.
Well, the reason you have Santa Claus is because of the claustrum in the brain, and it represents the oils going down the chimney or the brain stem.
Yeah, I've heard about that. The Christ consciousness point. Yeah, sacred secretion that happens
Yeah.
when the moon passes your star sign.
This
That's
is
like
also
the menstruation of the male. They're menstruating to the higher, while the women menstruate to the lower. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also why on Christmas they use pine trees, because they worship the pineal gland, and the pineal gland looks exactly like a pine cone. I mean, it's all just hidden symbolism all throughout all of it.
Well, the hidden symbolism, I don't know. It's Gnosticism. And the Gnostics, they're pretty far out. It's like reading a book from them is like taking a acid trip and watching
Well,
Rick and Morty.
yeah, it's because Christianity basically integrated all these different religions into it, at least like modern Christianity, where they celebrate Christmas and stuff, because a lot of these traditions actually come from paganism.
Well, I think it's more like the pagans were trying to occult Christianity. They were trying to replace Christ.
No, I think it's more like the church was trying to integrate paganism into Christianity so that they could, like, kind of better control people.
Yeah, maybe.
Or, like, not maybe control is the wrong word, but, like, so more people would, like, join their religion, basically.
Well, Santa Claus is coming a little bit later than Christ.
Right, yeah.
And Saturnalia, too. That's the Roman thing.
Well, I think Saturnalia might have been even before Christ. But I could be wrong.
Well, yeah, maybe the Canaanites were worshipping Saturn.
Right, because the Greeks, Saturn was like their titan, or like the god of gods for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that makes
The
sense.
god who devoured his children.
Yeah.
Isn't that
And it
Chronos
kind of
story as
sprouts
well?
into this. Sorry, Bisticles.
No, you're good. No, you're good. I was just saying,
No.
isn't that the Chronos story as well?
Yeah.
Father time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Father
why.
Time eats his children. Yeah, exactly. And that goes into the mysticism, like the Santa Clauses in Iceland, for instance. They're 13, and their mother eats children. So if you're bad, you can be put in a pot and eaten by Grilla, which is the witch who made the Santa Clauses, or the Yule lads, they call it. But Yule is actually a pagan, just a celebration, because they went to hunt at that time. And after the hunt, they had a lot of meat. So they had a festival, which they called Yule.
Oh, the
Or
Yule
Yule.
log. Oh, that makes sense, actually.
Yeah, it's very practical when you start digging into this. And it's not as mystical and scary as you think. But I think Christianity is the one true religion.
I'm with you there.
It kind of, it makes you understand the metaphysical. It makes it holistically sound, not just some randomness.
Yeah. I think basically all of the Bible is just symbolism, pretty much. Like, it's truth, but like the days in Genesis, each day represents a circle in the seed of life. The 7 days of creation, the 7 circles. And then from the seed of life, you get the fruit of life. And from that, you get the pattern to all of reality. You get Metatron's cube.
And isn't Metatron's cube the tree of life in Kabbalism? Like a Jewish angel.
Yeah, Metatron's cube is the it's a shape where you can get all the Platonic solids from it.
Oh
I don't
yeah. That's right.
I
It
don't
is the
think it
tree of
really-
life, though. It looks like this, right? It's almost like the Sephiroth.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yep.
Yeah.
So the 7 circles in the middle, that's the seed of life, and then the 12 circles on the outside, that's the flower of life.
The 12
Or
circles?
13, I mean. 13. Like the 7 inner circles, that's the seed of life, and then when you add the 6
Oh, the
on the
6.
outside.
Gotcha. Oh, someone made an actual presentation here. Hold up. Like this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know that much about like astrology and that sort of thing, but I'm sure there's like some hidden stuff there too also.
Well, interesting enough, about the Sephiroth, right? At the very, very top, it's called Keter. Keter. Just very close to ether.
Yeah. And this is the beard of Saturn, according to the Freemasons, which are Kabbalists at the highest degrees. Like that's the beard of the macroprosopus. And the
I've never even thought about
microprosopus.
that. That's interesting.
Yeah. The microprosopus is, I don't know quite, I can't put my finger on it. I can't describe it, but that's some kind of a reflection on the deep of the beard. So
How do you
it's kind
spell
of
that? Oh, I got it right here. Macroprosopus.
yeah. And then you have the microprosopus. And inside this, there's the Shekhinah, which is the feminine aspect of God. And Leonard Nimoy, the guy who played Spock, he created the Vulcan sign, and that's a Kabbalistic sign. And he made a photograph book, where he photographed naked women wearing prayer ornaments of the Jewish religion, and he was hated by the rabbis for it. But he was a very mystical, weird dude.
Oh, dude, I've seen this before. I think Bredimus sent me this image, right? And if you look at the someone made a comparison of the Great Seal of Solomon, which is this. The fucking Statue of Liberty makes the Great Seal of Solomon. Let me see if I can find that.
Yes, the Statue of Liberty is supposed to represent the statue of Lucifer. That's why it's carrying a torch, because it illuminates.
Oh, dude,
It's
I got it right here.
It's
Yep.
the light bringer.
Check this out. This is what Bredimus sent me.
Yeah, America was founded by Freemasons. And the thing is that I was researching the Royal Society in Britain or the UK. Sir Isaac Newton and Robert Boyle, Christopher Wren, all these guys. They founded the Royal Society on a Freemasonic kind of agreement between them, a brotherhood. And it's very interesting how you start to see how, like, this is happening in 1600 and just after the Great Fire of London, which was in 1666. And Sir Isaac Newton was surrounded by millenarianists or millenarianism. And millenarianism were looking for the next Messiah. So it's believed that Sir Isaac Newton was religious, he was Christian, but he was an anti-Trinitarian. Why was he anti-Trinitarian? It's very interesting. Why did he deny Christ being God? Because he wanted to be God, man. He wanted to mess with this. And then 776, you see, it's about 100 years later, 110 years later, after the Great Fire of London. But they built, Christopher Wren and Robert Hooke together built, I think, 54 buildings in the city of London because it had been burnt. And they made a lot of these old buildings according to the Royal Society archives and stuff like that.
That is wild. Yo, what up, Lion?
What is Washington, D.C., man? What is it? Is it like the District of London, this city of London, which is protected like the Vatican?
Absolutely.
It's a state within a state, somehow.
Hey, what's up? Yo, why is all the cool people in here, dude?
Because Riggs is in here. And this is his baby.
Nah,
Why is Riggs in here?
I like Gilly, Tom, Please, Level Up, Tank, Riggs. Nah, I basically get along with everybody in here. Quad, Quad is probably the only one I don't
Wait, you forgot True Seeker, though.
Sasha Fierce. I'm just playing.
Bro, don't dox me.
We're actually talking about something that you'd probably be interested in.
Criteria.
Kabbalah, Tree of Life, the Macro Prosopis, the Long Face of God. Thank you, Gilly, by the way. I knew you'd have the sauce.
You're welcome, brother.
I got lost in a tangent.
Fodder there.
I've been deep diving in DuPont.
Oh, nice.
Well, dude, what's his face? Ken Wheeler posted a picture of a book the other day. I didn't really get to talk to Geisler about it. As soon as I posted it, brother, everybody just, I don't know. Nobody wanted to talk about it, I guess. And I posted a PDF for it. And it has to do with Kabbalah.
Was it a recent video?
And I already knew, dude, I already knew this, like, without Ken Wheeler ever, like, admitting to it.
You're robot and Lion.
Shit.
If you can hear me though, Lion, you said he posted it. Damn, dude, that's really bad lag. Just use the text chat real quick. Did he post it on a video? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You want to try again, Lion?
What was the book? While we wait, Bisicles, what are your thoughts about Ken Wheeler? Have you been watching his videos?
I never got into it. I only entertained it for a little bit because of Dyslow. And I just wanted to, give him a watch to see where he was coming from with certain things. I don't know. It's really interesting.
He hits a lot of good notes. Like his actual like research and breakdowns of magnetism, I think, are some of the most realistic you'll get. Like he's got fruit, there's some pieces of fruit and stuff he says. I've watched him for like almost a decade now.
Yeah,
Just kind of
exactly.
hit or miss, yeah.
You could. Well, I haven't never really watched his videos like that, but the ones I have watched, like ones where he was explaining, he does like this drawing on a chalkboard. It's really interesting. Wish I could find it.
I just zone out when Dyslow starts to talk about the inertia and the negative space and the.
He teaches you how to build
I
a
can't
magnetic.
even do the script.
He teaches you how to build a magnetic field viewer, and those are sick. If you actually make one, they're pretty sweet. It showed you the field lines visibly with light.
Yeah, so I posted his community chat posted on Facebook this week, a couple days ago.
Oh, got
Maybe
you.
last week.
Gordiano Bruno.
And the book that goes with it. If you want to go, I know Biasticles likes to share his screen and go through stuff. It would be cool if you went through this book at some point. Don't have to be right now, but at some point.
How about I just post it for everybody?
Content. I got the PDF also. Just can't pull it up right now. You can get it on archive.org for free.
Oh, it's on the way back?
Well, no, you can get it a PDF on archive. It's on there in the database. I don't think you got to go to the way back. Nah. You don't got to go to the way back machine.
Well, that is the archive.
Oh, it's part of the Wayback? I thought the Wayback Machine was like a separate thing in it.
Wayback archive.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, dude.
I use them interchangeably. It's the same thing. It's like archive.org, and it's called the Wayback Machine. You know what I mean? But yeah, I found it.
Yeah. So Ken Wheeler is clearly promoting this book, dude, for some reason. Right? I'm not entirely sure. He's obviously fond of it, the way he talks about it.
Oh, dude, this is total Jesuit shit.
Well, notice how
now, if you want to read if you want to read like the intro, the synopsis to the book, yeah, if you want to go through the artwork and the symbolism, that'd be great too. Go ahead. What do you think?
This reminds me of the Kybalion.
Yeah. On the cover, there's sacred
7
geometry.
principles. Hermetic principles. Yes.
Yep. The preface is all about Hermes Trismegistus. So
7 is the number of a complete system. The 7 days of Genesis. The 7 colors. The 7 chakras. The 7 days of the week. The 7 hermetic principles.
That's where they get this gender from, by the way. The principle of gender.
Yeah, that's actually true. Everything does have gender. Masculine and feminine energy.
Yeah, but it's a word, brother. It's like these.
See, this is
texts. They're very sexy for the intellect, but they don't lead you anywhere, in my opinion. It's like a maze without an exit.
Amen, dude. It's a maze of gnosis, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, dude, like this is the problem, bro. Like there's some truth in the Kabbalah, some truth in the Zohar, but it's filled with mysticism, dogmas of men and fallen angels, doctrines of demons, and they've intertwined the truth with poison. In my opinion, it's spiritual poison.
Yeah,
it's here's the thing, though, right? The reason why it's so enticing is because how we fundamentally operate in terms of like inner flesh is in a dualistic manner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that requires unity. But we're living in a world where we have diversity as a symbol that everybody's following, which is exactly the opposite of God, which is the unity.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
wouldn't
like
have duality without the unity, you know?
exactly. No, 100%. And that's the thing. It's like the dualistic nature of our world, right? I know that's a huge claim in itself, right? But if you're gonna fundamentally dissect, quote unquote, right, anything into its parts, right, you're basically dividing it by two in a sense. You're in order to understand something, you have to split it apart to understand what it's made of.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the unity part is a transcendental hermaphrodite called a demiurge.
Well, that's the Gnostic view.
Nah,
Yeah,
it's not.
that's a Gnostic view.
No. See, Gnostics think the demiurge is fucking evil, dude. I'm the only one out here, and I guess Carl Jung said it too. We got our own take on the demiurge, but don't call it Gnostic. Gnostic's like, oh, it's an evil, inferior, lying god that's just wants to torture you and trap you. No, it's the good guy and the bad guy.
Well, I
Well,
meant
not
that-
all,
the
That's
demiurge
the
comes
duality.
from Gnostic. It comes from Gnostic.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not all Gnostics believe that
That's
the
split
demiurge
into
is
one and
evil.
two.
The
Well, I guess I'll
fundamental
just come up with my own word then, but you guys will know what I mean anyways.
they think the demiurge is a lesser god who the demiurge believes that he is the one true god, but he's a lesser god. But some Gnostics don't necessarily believe that he has to be like evil.
I mean, most of the Gnostics didn't even call the demiurge the demiurge. They had their own names like Rex Mundi and what's the other Yaldabaoth. So you guys don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking about on this. First of all, Plato is the one who invented the word demiurge, and in the original use of it, it was a good guy, perfectly good guy, the good carpenter of the universe that God put in charge of crafting the physical world.
Well,
So I
Well,
you're
mean,
just
you know,
describing Neoplatonism,
get
which
get
is
get land, guys.
basically, yeah, you're
well,
describing Neoplatonism, which is the duality. The spirit is good and matter is evil. And that doesn't make any sense. You have to have good.
well, you're also forgetting to mention Sophia. Sophia is like a pretty core component of Gnosticism, which created the demiurge.
I'm not forgetting to say shit.
Okay, I'm not trying to insult you. Don't have to take
All right. Well,
offense.
maybe you didn't mean what your words, were conveying there.
Okay, faggot.
Are you talking about Maria then?
Fucking faggot.
You're so emotional, guys. What's wrong with you?
No, I mean, I'm just having a normal conversation. This guy starts talking shit.
Well, you
Yeah,
said I
don't
forgot to mention
react to
Sophia.
the
I didn't
unconscious.
forget
Then you will
shit.
be unconscious yourself, brother.
I'm not trying to give a lecture on Gnosticism, and I'm just correcting one of the many common misconceptions that you guys have in your head about it and about my philosophies. Trying to put me in a
No,
box that you don't even understand, talking about things you
well,
don't even understand.
we don't have to
Do you
put
mean
you in
your
a box.
preferences?
We're not challenging your beliefs or anything. We were just talking about Ken Wheeler's new book, dude. That's all.
Oh, we
Come
got,
in here and
we
you
got
think
to
you
it.
know it all, brother. What
But
is
yeah,
this hermetic book? Bruno, my daughter was actually on Campo di Fiori, where he was burned on the stake for saying what he said.
Elaine, are you there? Are you roboting? Still? Probably.
Yeah, I guess so.
what is let's see what he said about it. He said this book is by Francis Yates, is one of the definitive books on Renaissance occult studies, Hermeticism and Renaissance philosophy. This book not only serves as a great introduction to the intellectual strata of the Renaissance. I have a copy of this book. This book profiles the fascinating outsider Giordano Bruno, who lectured on cosmology, philosophy, and memory, among other topics. These ideas led to his eventual arrest by the Roman Catholic Inquisition, where he was held captive and interrogated for 7 years. Bruno refused to recant his ideas on theology. Has anyone heard of this guy before he posted this? I never heard of him.
Yeah, Giordano Bruno, man. Pretty major figure. Surprised you haven't heard about him.
I haven't.
And Terrence McKenna says that he wasn't burned alive for refusing to change his views on theology. What got him in trouble was he was the first guy to be famous for looking up in the sky and saying that it's an endless void and all the stars are the same thing as our sun. And they said, "Shut your mouth. We're the church in the medieval ages or the Renaissance, and we don't like what you're saying." And he's like, "I'm gonna keep saying it." They're like, "Admit you're lying. You're lying. You're trying to deceive. You're possessed." And he's like, "No, I'm just trying to tell the truth." And they killed him. But it's interesting because it's not like they killed him immediately. It took like fucking 15 years. So it's not even, history's a weird thing. What's the truth of the matter? I don't know. Everyone has their own way to sort of twist how he's a martyr for their cause or my cause or his cause.
Well, wasn't he basically the first guy who was saying that we are moving, we are rotating, and going around the sun?
Like I said, man, people are gonna try to tell you things about him so that they can claim him as a martyr for their cause. Who's the one telling the truth? I don't fucking know.
Well, if you read the books that he's, like this book, I believe, you will start to understand that it's all rooted in Hermeticism and this hermaphrodite and what you were talking about, this demiurge earlier. It's all signifying a different religion, right?
He was a devout Catholic. He didn't think he was doing anything wrong.
Yeah, there were a lot of people in the church that wanted to say that Christ was not God.
This is interesting. I'm reading this book a little bit. So listen to this real quick. It says, there are radical differences of many kinds between the Mosaic Genesis and the Egyptian Genesis. Particularly, do they differ most profoundly in their account of the nature of man and the character of his fall. It is true that the Mosaic Genesis, like the Egyptian Genesis, says that man was made in the image of God and was given dominion over all creatures. But it is never said in the Mosaic Genesis that this meant that Adam was created as a divine being, having the divine creative power. Not even when Adam walked with God in the Garden of Eden before the fall is this said of him. When Adam, tempted by Eve and the serpent, wished to eat of the tree of knowledge and become like God, this is the sin of disobedience, punished by the exile from the Garden of Eden. But in the Egyptian Genesis, the newly created man, seeing the newly created 7 governors, quote unquote, the planets, on whom all things depend, wishes to create, to make something like that, nor is this treated as a sin of as a sign of disobedience. He is allowed into the society of the 7 governors who love him and impart him their powers. This Egyptian Adam is more than human. He is divine and belongs to the race of the star demons, the divinely created governors of the lower world. He is even stated to be, quote unquote, brother to the creative word, demiurge, son of God, the quote unquote second God who moves the stars. It is true that he falls, but this fall is in itself an act of his power. He can lean down through the armature of the spheres, tear open their envelopes, and come down to show himself to nature. He does this of his own free will, moved by love of the beautiful nature which he himself helped to create and maintain through his participation in the nature of the 7 governors. He was moved to do this by love of his own image, reflected in the face of nature, just as God loved man, seeing in him his own beautiful image, and nature recognizes his power, the powers of the 7 governors in him, and is united to him in love. Trippy.
Yeah, and it's kind of illogical.
Well, that's kind of weird. They call it the star demons, the race of star demons.
Yeah, it's you can get further just reading Tolkien or Game of Thrones or something.
Demons may not even be a bad thing, depending on who's saying it, though. I think it didn't used to have the same meaning it currently has in people's minds. Daemons and all that.
Yeah, just a supernatural being or spirit, not necessarily evil.
Bingo.
Are you talking about the days of like the demonology book? When did
No,
it take on a negative connotation?
No. That's separate. But Lion posted what Ken Wheeler just posted. Ken Wheeler just kind of like promoted this book, Giordano Bruno and the Hermetic Tradition. And we were just kind of going through the book, and I just found this passage that differentiates between the Mosaic Genesis and the Egyptian Genesis. And I just read it. It's pretty interesting. But
it's otherwise known as Babylonian Mystery Soup, in my opinion. But yeah, carry on.
Did you guys read that one page? It says the Hermetic tradition is followed beyond the death of Bruno into the 17th century, particularly in Campanella.
where's that? Is that in the book? I'm on page 27.
That's in one of the second page that Lion posted. It says the correct dating in 1614 of the Hermetic treatises marked the end of the dominance of Hermetism. I thought it was Hermeticism, not Hermetism.
Oh, right there, Hermetism. Oh, I see it right there. Okay.
Yeah, Campanella. That's Jared's last name.
Interesting.
That's pretty
Did you
interesting.
guys ever see the video of the lady who does interpretive dance on Instagram? And her last name is Campanella. And then she has a video where she's listening to Jared in the background. So people think that's his mom.
What? That's possible.
I could try to find it, but her last name is Campanella. She does interpretive dance on YouTube. She's like 60 or 70. And there's a video where she's listening to Jared in the background as she does her interpretive dance.
That is suspicious as fuck.
I'll try to find it. I've tried to find it again before, but I wasn't able to. But it's an Instagram page.
Diana M. Campanella.
Is that a lady that does like interpretive dance in front of a camera?
Uh-huh.
That's probably it then. And then there is a video where she's listening to Jared in the background. I think that sounds like it, but I don't remember the first name. You want to stream
Post
it?
it. I gotta
Oh,
log
yeah.
into Instagram real quick.
Yeah, you can post it. Yeah, it would just be a coincidence that someone with the last name Campanella
No,
is
it's her.
also listening to
It's her.
Jared in the background.
She has added a bunch of people I know as a friend on Facebook. It's her.
God, there's so many of them. It's gonna be hard to find which one has Jaren in the background.
I think it's like a 20-second video, but I can find it.
There's a ton of them. Well, do you remember
Yeah.
what she was wearing, kinda?
No.
Here, check out my stream. You'll see.
Yeah, it's one of the ones where it's her, so it would be one of the ones where she's doing, it's not recent. It would be probably a couple years old. But there is a video where there's Jaren talking in the background. She's listening to like a Jaren talking to somebody video.
You said a couple years ago. See when this was. That's only a year ago. Oh my god. It's a lot.
Yeah, but if Riggs says that it is his mother, then and she's added people, and it just is.
So Tommaso Campanella, 1568 to 1639 AD, was an Italian Dominican friar, philosopher, theologian, astrologer, and poet. Born in Stylo, Calabria, he is best known for his utopian work, The City of the Sun, 1602 AD, which described an ideal society governed by reason and equality. A critic of Aristotelian philosophy and the Spanish rule over Italy, he was imprisoned for nearly 27 years due to his heretical ideas and involvement in conspiracy against Spanish authorities in 1599. Despite this, he continued writing influential works blending mysticism, science, and political theory. He died in Paris under the protection of Cardinal Richelieu. Richelieu. Campanella. Could that be a predecessor of Jaren?
Nations, because they're teaching people how to basically weave magic. This is advanced magic. This is psychological influence.
And you, having read the Kabbalion now, are actually prepared to stop someone in the future in this room or something from reading it and interpreting it in some weird way that's leading them down the wrong path. And you wouldn't be able to step in and have them respect your opinion if they're like, what the fuck do you know? Have you even read it? You know what I mean? But you're like, yeah, I have. So let me fucking give you some advice, youngster.
I just think that people could say the same thing about the Kabbalah, right? Or the Quran, for that matter. Is it going to actually help you in the grand scheme of things? I think it won't. I don't think it will.
But it might help you help others.
I don't think it will, because what it's going to do is it's going to convolute the truth. That's what the Kabbalion does. It convolutes the truth, and it's incompatible with the Tanakh, actually. And I can point out why. We go through the principles, but
I think the principles are the one shining gem in this world that don't convolute. It is the most powerful clarifying tool, actually. If you need some clarity, read the Kabbalion. That'll clear things up for you.
Yeah.
Make
So when
everything nice and simple and straightforward instead of all this extra fairy tale stuff that gets confusing and all contradictory and weird.
yeah, see, this is the problem. These were taught, right? And I truly believe that the Kabbalion goes back to the Kabbalah and back to ancient mystery school knowledge that was kept secret, right? Between a upper class of priests, a priestly class. And some of this stuff regarding grimoires and sacred geometry and alchemy and toroidal physics, they were aware of this, and some of this knowledge is involved in the occult when it comes to summoning demons and drawing sigils, and like this is so far beyond anything that the average person is aware of, like actually contacting archons or rulers and powers of this world that exist in the astral plane. Like, this is so much more advanced. This is like, this knowledge would be part of a magician's background, or sorcerer, somebody who's
Nothing
heavily
like that in
involved
the
in
Kabbalion.
some. No, the Kabbalion is like a summary of the Kabbalah, right? It's some of the same. Like when it comes to the 7 principles, those principles are found in the Kabbalah, right? It would just
No mention of spirits or demons or channeling or
none of that
any,
has none of that. None of that has to be mentioned in the Kabbalion. The Kabbalion summarizes it, the Kabbalah and its principles, and it's a systematic approach of the Kabbalah. That's all it really is.
I think it's a systematic approach of everything. It's just laying down the general principles of how this place works.